Here comes your band!
Well, you guys have fun, and you're a little ditcher, just so you know.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to John Wall Stadium. Tonight's varsity matchup pits the Aztecs of Corona del Sol against your Basha Bears. At this time, please rise and remove your caps as your own Basha High School AFJROTC, led by Colonel Cliff Stanzel and Master Sergeant Michael Cullum, present our national colors. And now, our national anthem. Thank you.
Ethan, where are you going to be?
Well, there's two cameras on this. So since
Right now, that's our only camera that's working.
Press box would like to wish Steve happy birthday. Master Sergeant Michael Cullum. Happy birthday, Master Sergeant. Captain for this evening for the visiting Aztecs, number 3, Ryan Held, number 5, Colin Gavel, number 12, Lucy Pearsall, and number 15, Phoenix Johnson. Head coach of the Aztecs, John Becker. Captain Steve Bears, number 1, Kyle Simmons, and number 27, Stormy Mendoza. Number 39, Tiffany Curry, and number 63, Jonathan Duran. Head coach of the Bears, Chris McDonough. Our officiating group of this evening, our line judge, James Moore. The linesman, John Warner. Our referee is Randy Presentine. The back judge is Vern Marshall, and our umpire is Torrance Williams. Gentlemen, have a nice game. Okay, it looks like your Bears are going to receive and defend the south end zone.
Basha went 3-8. They're 1-3 in the league. Look on the other side, Coronadale Falls 2-8, 1-4 in the league. But when you look at the Basha side of the ball, they really like to spread the ball around, use a variety of different players. They have 9 different running backs, 9 different players who've got touches in the backfield this season, and I think it'll be an interesting matchup, especially this early in the season. Now there is one thing in common for these teams. I'd say for both of these teams, say, it's probably, just looking to get better. They had a last season. They're just looking to get better.
All right, well, we're set for kickoff here as Corona del Sol ready to kick the ball off to Basha, going from right to left. Oh, and the kickoff is muffed in the end zone, but it will be a touchback as Basha's offense gets ready to head out onto the field, led by senior quarterback Connor Phelan. Andrew, what is so special about this young, very experienced quarterback?
I think you hit it on the nose, Austin. He's a senior quarterback. His stats on the season, 19 for 29, 373 yards. He's averaging 19.6 yards a catch. So he just can really get the ball all over the field and can spread it around pretty well.
All right, as we get ready for the first play of the game, Basha in their green pants, black top jersey, black helmets, moving down the field right to left. Corona del Sol in their white uniforms. Oh, and we have a switch in the backfield here. Running back goes out into, as a wide receiver, out onto the left side. Phelan drops back the pass, complete over the middle to Sifferman, and he is out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, just a nice out route there by Sifferman. That's the guy. You're going to hear his name a lot tonight. He's a jack of all trades, and that is Phelan's #1 target over there. He is a running back, he's a wide receiver, and he also does a little bit of kicking duties for this Basha High School team. So you're going to hear his name a lot tonight, and that's one of, as I said, Phelan's main targets.
As you can hear the band on the field and in the stands, this is a very high-intensity atmosphere as Corona del Sol jumps off sides, and Phelan does a good job of setting the snap count. That'll be 5 yards forward for the Basha Bears. We have 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left, one running back in the backfield right on the right side of Phelan. Phelan drops back the pass, throws it back over to Sifferman, and he is down the field over to the 50-yard line into Aztec territory, but there is a flag in the backfield.
And a lot of flags early in this ball game, Austin. A lot of penalties so far early in this game, but on that last play, Sifferman, as I said, there's that guy again. But that time just gets a little screen and gets a nice block on the outside from Mateo Estrada.
Yeah.
And so he seals the edge there, but it looks like the offense might be coming back now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sifferman, he has 169 yards heading into this game. He had 10 receptions on the season, along with 2 touchdowns. Second leading receiver in terms of touchdowns in that category. And we're going to see a penalty, a holding call, against Basha. That'll back them up 10 yards.
That has to be a little bit frustrating early in this ball game for head coach Chris McDonald. You know, your offense gets a couple plays, start to move, and then holding call really sets you back like that. But we'll see how the offensive company decides to bounce back.
All right, we're going to see Phelan, the quarterback, changing the play. We got 3 receivers right, 1 left, running back in the backfield on the right side of Phelan. Phelan takes a snap, fakes handoff, throws it back over to the running back. He is absolutely smacked in the backfield. What a hit. After an already long penalty against the Bears, that'll set him back even further as the screen pass comes to no avail.
And a missed block there on the outside, and the Corona del Sol defense made the Basha offense feel that one. They laid the hit stick on that play, and that's going to push them back even a little bit further.
And we're seeing all passing plays here early on as we expected. As the Basha Bears sub in and out their wide receiver unit. Let's see, 2nd and 12 on the 33-yard line after being right on the 50, looking like they were going to head into plus territory. Phelan now trying to audible. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right, 1 in the backfield. Phelan drops back to pass, and he finds one over the middle, and that will be caught at the 35-yard line. Still going to be a longer distance 3rd down here.
Like that was Mika Harper over the middle too on that pass from Phelan, doing a good job, running a nice route and then boxing out. The linebacker tried to come over the top and make that play to disrupt that pass, but doing a good job, just getting his hands out there and boxing out the defender behind him.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you want to see from a tight end there, boxing out like a basketball play on a rebound. So we have 3rd and 10. Phelan drops back to pass. Now he's going to scramble. He has some green grass in front of him, and he is tackled down at the 43-yard line.
And on the tackle, that's Miles Shepard. He did a good job. He knew exactly where the sticks were, and now it looks like there's going to be a 4th down situation for the Bears, but a really nice tackle because Phelan was very close to that 1st down marker, and now it's decision time for the Bears. Have to see if they go for it or not here on this 4th down play, and it looks like they are.
Yeah, they're going to go for it here on a 4th and 1. 1 receiver right, 2 receivers left, a flanker in the backfield, and that's going to be a flag on Corona del Sol for jumping off sides. Phelan did an excellent job of faking the snap count. That'll be 5 yards against Corona del Sol and a 1st down for Basha.
Yeah, and you don't even have to snap the ball for Basha. That's a great job by Phelan. I mentioned it earlier, a senior quarterback drawing a little bit of a hard count there, getting the defense to jump off sides, and that moves the sticks.
Yeah, we saw early tonight they tried to do some trickery as they motioned out Sifferman from the backfield out into the left far side wide receiver. And right now, Basha has the ball moving on the 47-yard line. Phelan pass over to Sifferman once again, and he has another 1st down over on the plus side territory down into the 32-yard line of Corona del Sol.
There goes that guy again, Ty Sifferman. As I said, you're going to hear his name all night long. It's going to be... You're just going to continue to hear it, and that time he gets out in the open field, decides to keep his feet churning, moves into the open field, then tries to stiff arm a defender, and a really nice play there by the wideout. He's having a good start to this ball game, and Basha looking like an air raid offense right now, just passing the ball all over the field.
A little bit of Texas Tech air raid offense, which ASU has seen many times over the years. Phelan in the backfield with 2 receivers left, 1 backfield, and he throws it back over to Sifferman once again. Highly rated target coming into this game, and he is down close to the red zone, down to the 22-yard line.
And that time Sifferman gets some more open space on the left side, just a quick swing pass out to the left and busted upfield, and that's just more yards for this Basha offense, and they're off to a very good opening drive after a few early penalties.
All right, Phelan in the shotgun, 1 running back to his right, 2 receivers right, 1 tight end in the gun, and he hands it off for the 1st time this game, right up the middle to senior running back Cole Lundberg. First rush of the game goes for a long gain. It's a 1st and 10 down inside the 20.
Yeah, and you wear the defense to sleep with all those passing attempts. They start thinking that every play is going to be a pass, then they just hand it off to Lundberg up the middle, and he just cuts it back, and offense just continues to roll right now for Basha.
Yeah, Phelan in the gun. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Lundberg to his left, and he hands it off to Cole Lundberg, and he scoots into the end zone for a touchdown for the Basha Bears.
And a really nice edge block by the offensive line. The big boys up front doing their job, creating those seams, creating those holes on the outside. Lundberg had a nice edge and just bounces it back upfield, and just like that, it's 6-0 Bears, and a very good opening drive. As I said, after a few early penalties, had that holding call, they bounced back really well and just put up a really productive first drive. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, Connor Phelan did a very nice job of getting his team back on track. After those few penalties that they had, set him up at the 2nd and 12, drives right down the field. And awaiting the extra point, which is up, and it is good. Your score was 7:42 left in the first quarter. Basha 7, Corona del Sol nothing.
Yeah, and like I said, Austin, a very impressive first drive. Just spreading the ball over the field, hitting different receivers. Obviously, Sifferman being the main target, but Phelan looking like the senior quarterback he is. That's a very impressive first drive and a little bit of a statement here in this 3rd game of the season. So a very good job by the Bears offense.
Yeah, and early on in the season, you're trying to feel guys out. You're trying to see if they fit your offense. And in that last drive, it looks like they were putting together a good team chemistry, and it looked like a very good fit for this Basha team.
Definitely a very good start for this Basha team. And now if you're Corona del Sol, you just got hit in the mouth. You still have a lot of football left, obviously, in this game. Just past 4 minutes, or pardon me, 7 minutes into this one. After that nice long drive, it's going to be interesting to see how this Corona del Sol offense responds. And I mentioned that guy, Ty Sifferman, of course, catching all those passes out there. Just kicked the extra point. Now he's out there to kick off. As I said, a jack of all trades. You'll be hearing his name time and time again tonight.
And you love to have those guys on your team. It can be a little bit of exhausting at times, but hey, that's what you sign up for. Sifferman has the ball lined up, ready to kick it off to Corona del Sol. Corona del Sol has 1 guy deep with his heels on the goal line. Sifferman powers it deep into the end zone, and Corona del Sol elects not to return this one. It will be brought out onto the 20-yard line.
And how about that? He can kick, too. Kicks it
Yeah,
all the way back to
fantastic.
the other end zone.
Line him up on the 50-yard line, see if he can scoot a 60-yard field goal in there.
And so with this Corona del Sol offense coming out right now, they're led by their quarterback, Ryan Helt. He's a senior for this Corona del Sol offense, and he's going to get the offense going now.
Helt in the backfield, wide receiver spread all out. He is the only one in the backfield, and it is broken up and almost intercepted, and there is a flag on the play.
Yeah,
More than likely a pass interference.
Yeah, but PI on Sifferman did a good job. He was in the right coverage, but you put that arm around the guy and just put it around his hip, they're going to call that every time. That's what the ref saw, and it looks like it's going to be a first down now for the Corona del Sol offense after that PI.
Yeah, first play of the game, they emptied backfield spread offense set. And they're going to end up getting 15 yards out of it.
So that will push the ball.
Excuse me, it was, no, yeah, 15, yep.
15, that'll push it all the way up to the 35. So the Aztecs getting a penalty to start off this drive, and that's going to help them and move them and keep the ball moving.
Helt in the backfield again, empty set, 3 receivers right, 2 receivers left, moving down the field, left to right. Helt dropping back, tries to find his man over the middle. He can scoot, he's at the 40, and he's tackled down right about at the 40-yard line. And it looked like it might be another first down here for the Aztecs.
And
Actually, no, it'll be a 5-yard gain.
And just hitting a check down receiver over the middle there. That's a Ricky Pearsall. I'm talking about Ty Sifferman on the offensive side of the ball for the Bears and kind of do everything. For Helt, his main target is going to be Pearsall. He leads the team in receiving for Corona del Sol, has 214 yards, averaging 15 yards a catch, and he's going to be his #1 target tonight. He's really going to look for him all over the field.
15 yards a catch. That's pretty good. As Helt drops back the pass, he can't find anyone. He takes off for a scramble, and he dives right around the 42-yard line.
good job there that time by Helt. He felt the pressure coming. Basha came with a blitz. Instead of waiting in the pocket or trying to get the ball out quickly, Helt just tucked it and run and was able to make a positive play out of it.
And Basha in their dime defense with a 5th DB out there as they exchange a DB for a linebacker. So Corona del Sol, they're going to go from the I formation, fullback and halfback right behind Helt. One receiver right, one tight end right. Hands the ball off on the left side, and it is a fantastic form tackle right at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 4th down and about a long 2 for Corona del Sol.
And that time, a 3rd and 3, the Corona del Sol offense trying to make a statement, really establish themselves up front, and it's just to no avail. The defensive front for Basha was just right there to sniff that one out and gang tackle the runner at the line of scrimmage.
And speaking of the jack of all trades, look who's back to receive this punt. It's Sifferman. What can't this guy do? Corona del Sol, it's an end-over-end kick, and it will be run up and caught right about the 36-yard line. And Basha set up in really good field position to begin this next drive.
Now a little bit of a risky punt return there by Sifferman, looking similar to a center fielder in baseball, coming up on that one, charging in hard and making the catch. And when you're with a full head of steam like that, going upfield to make that catch on the run like that and just secure it. It was pretty impressive for him to come down with it. So for a second there, I thought he might muff it coming up with, like I said, a full head of steam like that. But a nice play by Sifferman, using nice soft hands to secure that one.
Exactly, and for those who don't know what muff is when you drop a punt, and at that point in time, if you drop the ball, it is a live ball, and either team could pick it up. All right, so Phelan in the backfield, 2 receivers left, 1 running back to his left, 2 receivers right. Phelan throws the ball over to his left, and it is incomplete over by the left sideline. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 with 5:21 left here in the first quarter. 7-0, Bears still lead it.
That one was intended for Camden Mateen, another one of Phelan's main targets, and that time just rolls out. He actually had Mateen earlier on the play. He was calling for it early, but at the end of the play, Phelan just waited a little too long, just wasn't able to get it over to him and kind of rushed the throw there at the end. But nonetheless, it's a 2nd and 10 now for the Bears.
As Phelan has 3 receivers to his right, 1 running back to his left, and it is incomplete. Over to the left side. Looked like they were going to set up a wide receiver screen, but came to no avail, and it is going to be a 3rd and 10. Ball on the 35-yard line.
Yeah, just a swing pass that time out to Zion Williams, a ball that he'd probably say he should have had, but pass was a little behind him, and sometimes when you have that much open space in front of you, you turn your head, or maybe you're thinking that you're just ready to go upfield, that you've got to secure the ball, and that time just a little bit of a mix-up between quarterback and wide receiver.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things for wide receivers is, hearing those footsteps, those quote-unquote footsteps of a tackler coming to get you, but nonetheless, it is 3rd and 10. 2 receivers to Phelan's left, 2 receivers to his right, 1 running back to his right, and it's a deep shot down the field, and it is dropped by Sifferman. Dive and effort, but it is incomplete, and it looks like Basha will have to punt the ball away here.
And oh so close that time. If Sifferman comes down with that one, chances are he's taking it to the house. Not a bad ball at all by Connor Phelan. Puts it out there, gives his receiver a chance to go and get it, and just past the outstretched hands of Sifferman. But if you're the Bears, and we saw them move the ball around on that first drive, you got to be feeling right now like, we've had a couple miscues with the pass in the backfield that was dropped, and now that ball that could have been taken in for a touchdown. Nonetheless, looks like they're going to go for it here, or pardon me, not go for it. They're going to send out the punting team.
Send it away
4th
here.
and 10.
Basha punter receives the ball, and he punts it away over to Corona del Sol. End-over-end kick. Ball fielded at the 36-yard line. Over to the right field sideline, and he will be down at the 41-yard line.
Time a little bit of a short kick, but I had a little bit of hang time on it, and that allowed the special teams unit to come downfield and really make a gang tackle on the punt returner.
As the Corona del Sol offense gets ready to come back onto the field, still 7-0 in favor of Basha. I tell you what, it's a beautiful night. It's 100 degrees here on the southeast side of the Valley of the Sun here at Basha High School. And Corona del Sol quarterback Help will take off for a scramble. He'll get a nice 5-yard gain on the play.
That time Helt, once again, feeling a little bit of the pressure, just steps up in the pocket and decides to tuck it and run. Nice little chunky yardage, about a 2 or 3 yard gain, it looks like, from the 44-yard line.
As Helt runs over to the sideline, gets the play from the head coach. And the huddle breaks as it'll be an empty backfield for Helt here. 3 receivers left, 2 receivers right, moving down the field left to right. Helt takes the ball, drops back to pass. He can't find anyone. Getting pressured, and he will be sacked, if not a 1-yard gain on the play. Helt couldn't find anyone there, and results in a sack for Basha.
Pelt, the one thing I will give him credit for early on in this game, this Basha defense has really been turning up the dial, getting a lot of defensive pressure in on the quarterback. When he's felt the pressure, he's been able to step up in the pocket. That time he still had his eyes downfield, but pressure just came a little too late. But you got to give the quarterback credit because he's still stepping up in the pocket, looking to make plays for his teammates.
Again, another empty set. We got 2 receivers right, 1. Oh, actually, he does have a running back to his left, 1 receiver to his left. You have a tight end right. Snaps the ball, hands the ball off to Tim Lutzcomb. He gets a nice 3-yard gain. And we're going to be looking at a 4th down and about 2 here for Corona del Sol.
And that time on the tackle is Chandler Kelly, and a nice run there by pardon me, on the play. Nice run there by the running back, but doing a good job to come up and make the tackle and possibly prevent a 1st down.
And looks like Corona del Sol is going to go for it. However, they may have drawn Basha offsides. And the Basha defense is moving back, which means it's going to be a 5-yard penalty for encroachment on the Basha Bears.
Oh, we saw that on Basha's first drive of the game, with Phelan drawing the defense offsides. That time, Corona del Sol gives them a little taste of their own medicine, and that'll move the chains.
All right, Helt is in the gun, empty backfield. 2 receivers to his left, motions 1 to his right. Now we have 4 receivers, overload to his right. Flag on the play.
Looks like we're going to have a false start on the Aztecs, so after they get that 1st down, now you push them back 5 yards. And that will drive a coach crazy if your head coach, John Bechtold, as I said, just got that 1st down and push them back a little. Just a few too many penalties, I imagine, if your head coach, John Bechtold, early in this game. Obviously, earlier there was a play that drew the Aztec defense offside. It led to the 1st touchdown in this game for the Bears. So if Corona del Sol, if they look to limit those penalties, I feel like that will really help them as this game goes on, and especially as it winds into the latter stages of the ball game.
All right, we're in the I formation here, and again, another penalty. Let's see what this one's for. Delay of game as the play clock hits 0. Now, I don't know if it was reset on that play. I did not see it get reset, but nonetheless, it will be a 5-yard penalty, and it will be a 1st and about...
Looks like somebody's 1st and 20.
1st and 20. Interesting. All right, they're still going to stay in that I formation. Fullback, and he motions the halfback out to his left. 2 receivers left now. Screen pass over to the wide receiver, and he will be tackled for a very short gain of about 2 yards.
Yeah, that time they motion a receiver out of the backfield and out to the left, try and seal the edge on that block and just get a quick screen out that way, but the Basha defense was there to sniff that one out.
Absolutely. As Helt QB number 3 gets the play in from the head coach. Looks like it's going to be an empty set. 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. 1:28 left here and counting in the first quarter. Helt drops back to pass. Can't find anybody. Being pressured, and it is complete over the middle to the right side of the field. He is still going down to the 50 inside the Aztec territory, Bear territory to the 47-yard line.
And there's that guy again, Ricky Pearsall. He gets that one just on the route underneath, gets underneath the defense and looks to push it upfield. And so Corona del Sol at least making somewhat of a manageable third down now. It's still third and long, 3rd and 10, but when you look at starting with 1st and 20, not the worst thing in the world, especially given where they started.
Another empty set play here for Helt. 3 receivers to his right, 2 receivers to his left as they move down the field left to right. Helt can't find anybody, slings the ball over the middle, and it is incomplete. It's going to be a 4th down and 10 here from the 48-yard line. Let's see if Corona del Sol elects to punt the ball, and I believe they will.
That time Helt just trying to fit the ball into a small window and just wasn't able to do so. Skipped it a little short of his intended receiver. Now it'll make it 4th down here in a 7-0 ball game on our 360 AZ live stream. As I said, 7-0 Basha, and there's just under 40 seconds remaining here in this first quarter.
For those new to Sports 360 AZ, make sure to catch Brad Sesmat's football show during the week as Corona del Sol punts the ball, and it will land right around. Oh, and it is fielded right around the 3-yard line. Gets to about the 5. Questionable field there.
I'd be interested to see where they spot that.
Sifferman
picked it up.
Exactly right at the 5-yard line.
And possibly a little bit of a miscue there by Sifferman, maybe trying to do a little too much, trying to field that ball to 5. Obviously very elusive is Sifferman, and he's made a ton of good plays early in this ball game. At that time, fielding the ball all the way down at the 5-yard line, and Corona del Sol special teams is right in front of them, and now the Bears have to start deep in their own territory.
As Phelan and leads his offense back out onto the field. He's going to have 2 receivers to his right, 1 running back to his right, 1 receiver to his left, 1 flanker to his left. Phelan gets the ball, hands it off right up the middle till Lipscomb, and he gets all the way out to about the 14-yard line. He makes something out of nothing and almost gets a 1st down.
And Lundberg having plenty of room up front thanks to his offensive linemen. They do a good job of creating a couple holes off the left side of that line of scrimmage and just giving them lanes to run right now. That's just going to push the offense a little further out of their own territory.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was Connor Lundberg on the last rush there. Over here at the end of the first quarter, the score is 7-0 in favor of Basha. Andrew, what did you like in that first quarter?
Well, I think when you look at both sides of the game, I think for Basha in that first quarter, they didn't do too much wrong. They had a few early penalties, as I said, but they were able to take advantage of Corona del Sol's miscues. I thought Phelan did a really good job kind of just controlling the passing game. Obviously, that second drive, things didn't go exactly the way they did in the first, but that opening drive was pretty impressive by the Bears. And when you look at Corona del Sol, still very much in this football game, obviously, just a 7-0 score. But if you are the Aztecs, I think just cleaning up those penalties, it's the little things like that that really decide whether you're going to win or lose a ball game, especially early in the season. Is just cleaning up those penalties, limiting turnovers. Obviously, there haven't been any turnovers yet, but just limiting those penalties is going to be a huge key for them.
Yeah.
But that was just about my first quarter takeaways.
Yeah, and the penalties, as you said, Andrew, they were a big problem for Corona del Sol, and they haven't really been able to get a drive going this whole quarter.
And one thing about the Aztecs is you're going to see a lot of balls in the air tonight. It's not going to be a ground and pound type of game. It's going to be more of an air raid between both sides. They both like to spread the wealth, spread the ball around. And for Corona del Sol, really no aspect in the running game yet, but that's just type of the offense they play. They really rely heavily on their senior quarterback of Ryan Helt.
Yes, as Connor Phelan takes the ball, and he hands the ball up right up the middle to Cole Lundberg, the senior.
Lundberg's going to be pretty close to the chains, and it looks like they're moving them, which would indicate a 1st down. And once again, a nice run by the running back. And you talked about, Basha spreading the ball around, passing it so much on the first drive. You're starting to see now them really mixing the other side of their offense, and that's working in Lundberg and establishing the ground game as well.
Phelan with 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left, throws the ball over to who other else than Sifferman. As he stays in bounds, he's cutting back at the 40, down the field to the 50, and he is out of bounds, pushed out of bounds right at the 49-yard line into Aztec territory.
And he's right in front of his sidelines. They love that play. That's one to put on the highlight reel. Sifferman using all the Madden moves out there. First he stiff arms a defender, then cuts back, splits 2 defenders, pushes it out all the way up to midfield and almost into Corona del Sol territory. That was a heck of a move by the senior wideout.
That was a little back juke on the right analog stick right there on Madden, but nonetheless, it was a first down and a big gain down to the 50-yard line as well. They'll spot the ball. Phelan, 1 running back to his right, 3 receivers to his left, 1 receiver to his right, hands the ball right up the middle to Connor Lundberg, and he gets all the way down inside the 40, down about to the 39.5-yard line.
And actually, right now, they don't have Phelan out there right now at the quarterback position. Right now, that is Gabe Friend down or at the quarterback position, at least on that last snap.
Gabe Friend now in at quarterback. He's number 16. He is the junior who will be taking this next snap. 3 receivers to his left, 1 receiver to his right. He has 1 running back in the backfield to his right. He throws the ball over the middle to Estrada, but he drops the ball. It's going to be a 2nd down and 10.
And Friend, this time he just checks into this game, and we don't have the prognosis or what exactly happened with Connor Phelan yet. But we do know he's on the sideline. That time, though, not a bad ball at all by Gabe Friend. It was just a quick slant out to Estrada, and if he catches that, then he beats 1 defender. He might be off to the house, but not a bad ball at all, especially by a quarterback who's coming in cold off the bench.
Absolutely. Gabe Friend, he is the junior coming into this game. He has not many stats to his name other than an interception. But he drops back the pass, finds his receiver over the middle, cutting down inside the red zone down to the 18-yard line.
And once again, a nice ball from Friend. That time he finds Anika Harper, and Harper does a good job just to find a soft spot in the defense, really just sitting there and give his new quarterback a target to come in and make a play. And that time, like I said, a nice ball by Friend once again.
Williams comes hobbling off the sideline, going to replace him with another wide receiver. As Friend makes the play call to his teammates in the huddle. He has 2 receivers to his left, 1 running back to his left, and 1 receiver right. Hands the ball off right up the middle, and it's going to be another big gain down inside the 10-yard line. No, excuse me, that's going to be at the 12.
Right now, this Basha offense is just in motion, in rhythm. You take out Phelan, and Friend comes in, and you really see no drop-off thus far, just getting a couple throws in there. The running games have been moving. The offensive line has been doing a good job moving bodies around up front, and they're just in a rhythm right now. And if you're Corona del Sol, you got to do anything to try and disrupt that rhythm, maybe dial something new up.
Exactly. Friend still in the ball game. Passes the ball right over the middle. Right to Harper for a touchdown for the Basha Bears.
And there it is, another touchdown for the Bears. That time, Friend just finding Harper over the middle of the field. Just a quick little dump off. He splits right between the defense and into the end zone. And just like that, it's 13-0 Basha and another impressive drive.
Basha getting ready to line up for the extra point here by none other than Mr. Simmerman. He boots the ball right between the uprights. It is 14-0 with 9:42 left here in the second quarter. 14-0 in favor of Basha.
Yeah, and Basha, the offense, just been rolling right now. Just doing everything right on that last drive, and even the drive before on that second one. They had a couple drop passes that I'm sure a couple guys would say that they wanted back, but the offense really been in full force tonight. They're looking good so far. Beautiful night as well as the sun has gone down. Friday night lights. Love this time of year, Austin.
Like it.
Football's officially back, obviously at the high school level, but tomorrow college football starts up. Just a great time of year. And
Absolutely.
a little step aside from the game there, but just, a beautiful night for football.
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned college football. We have Arizona State taking on UTSA tomorrow as Manny Wilkins and Akil Harry get ready to lead their team into the 2018 season, see if they can have a better season than they did last year. Did make a bowl game. But nonetheless, this should be a very interesting year for Manny Wilkins and new head coach Herm Edwards in his first year as a head coach for the ASU Sun Devils, as Zifferman gets ready to kick the ball off, end over end kick, and there's a flag on the play.
Possibly offside on the kicking team, it looks like. False start. Yep,
false start on the kicking team. I was going to say, because it definitely was not kicked out of bounds. Kicked right through the end zone, but it will be a false start on Basha. Now, you don't see many of those calls.
Yeah, that's a little bit, if you're, a special teams unit, just a little bit of a mental mistake and just a discipline thing, jumping off, or jumping the gun really before the kick is set to go off. But, that's just a little thing they can clean up throughout the course of this game, and nothing to take away from them.
Nothing major, but they are going to push the ball back to the 35-yard line. Or at least that's what should happen.
Offense still standing, Zifferman standing at the 40.
Yeah, they're still standing at the 40.
Like they're still sorting everything out. Now they're going to move back. Look like Zifferman's moving the placeholder back. Ref's still having a discussion down there.
Now, Gabe Friend had a really good drive to end that last drive there. Do you think he'll stay in the game?
I'm going to be interested to see what the coaching staff of Basha does now. Friend, obviously, very, very good on that last drive. Phelan's over there on the sideline right now, talking with a couple of receivers. He looks to be all right. I'm not sure if they just want to mix Friend into that mix of the offense, just get him integrated early in this game. But both quarterbacks have looked really good this far. It's going to be an intriguing decision either way.
As Zifferman kicks the ball, another end-over-end kick, and that's going to be another touchback out of the back of the end zone. That didn't even touch the field. That almost hit one of the pylons out of bounds.
It's one thing to go around and, catch some passes, play on the defensive side of the ball, play receiver, running back, but then to come in and just boot a ball, you think you'd have a little bit of fatigue maybe in your legs. He still finds a way to just kick the ball, out of the end zone. It's just been pretty impressive, but you ask, I'm sure, any of these Basha coaches, and that's what they expect from the senior wideout. Zifferman was the main target last year for this team. He's been really just a pivotal player all around for this Basha football program over his 4 years here.
Absolutely, and Basha now on their dime set on defense. Helt in the gun, can't find anybody, scrambles to his right, finds his running back out of the backfield. That's going to be about a 5-yard gain. It's going to be about a second down and about a long 4 or a short 5 yards.
That time a really good job by the Basha secondary. Helt really had nowhere to go and just had to hit his check down, and it was only for a minimal gain.
And it will be 2nd and 4 with 9:10 left here in the first half, as Helt hands the ball right up the middle to Lipscomb. He gets a minimal gain of about 1, maybe 2.
Lipscomb that time getting a rare run play that we see from this Corona del Sol offense, but tries to push it up the middle, and he was just met by a wall of Basha defenders and stood up really at the line of scrimmage.
And Helt, that senior quarterback, leading this Corona del Sol team into the 2018 season. He's got some work to do, down 14-0 with 8:34 and counting here in the second half, or second quarter, as he takes the ball right up the middle on a quarterback draw. And it looks like it should be another 1st down and 10 for the Corona del Sol Aztecs.
Yeah, Holt knowing right where the sticks were on that one. And as you said, Austin, that was a designed quarterback draw, and it does the job. It moves the chains and keeps this drive going. And if you're Corona del Sol, this is a really big drive now, because you don't want to give the ball back to this Basha offense that's been rolling, and really just a big response drive if you're on the sideline of the Aztecs.
Yeah, absolutely is. Helt has one receiver to his right, one running back to his right. Wide receiver screen is thrown over to the left side, and it will be another minimal gain of about 1, maybe 2. Yeah, looks like it's going to be a gain of about 1.
That time just trying to seal the edge there. Jaron Reval didn't do a horrible job of just sealing his block, but they're just overloaded that one side of the field for the Bears, and they were able to get to the intended receiver and make a play and that led to a short gain.
Absolutely, and now Hell has one receiver to his left, one running back, flares out of the screen to his left, and he finds a receiver over the middle, gets absolutely smacked. And it will be another first down for the Aztecs.
Hell, that time we've seen a couple times where he's been rushed in the pocket, and he's had to step up and just run with it. That time he had time back in the pocket, had time to see his receivers, look over the field, and then delivers a strike over the middle of the field to his intended receiver. So good job there by the senior quarterback.
Corona del Sol getting ready to take a snap again. They're going to go fast pace here. Three receivers to his right, one to his left. Hands the ball up the middle to Tim Lipscomb. And it'll be about a 3-yard gain for the Aztecs.
Yeah, just a short gain there that time for Corona del Sol, but talked about their air raid offense, how much they like to pass the ball. I think a little bit of a medicine for that type of offense, just every once in a while to get a couple run plays in there, and it looks like that's what they're doing right now is they have a trips formation, 3 wide receivers on the left side.
Completed to the left side, and it will be out of bounds right about the 40, call it the 42. We're going to have a short third down coming up here. About a 3rd and 4, maybe 5, and it will be a 3rd and 5 at the 48-yard line. Helt has a very good drive going here for the Aztecs. Aztecs have an empty set in the backfield. 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Helt drops back to pass, can't find anybody. He almost finds his receiver, but it is incomplete, intended receiver. Sebastian Gutierrez.
That has to be a little frustrating if you're on the Corona del Sol sideline. They had a good drive going, and you get to a 3rd and short situation, drew up the right play, had the intended receiver, and it just bounces off. And it's been a little bit of the story of the night so far for the Aztecs, but like I said earlier in the broadcast, still a lot of football left to be played in this one, regardless of the 14-0 deficit.
Yeah, absolutely. As Corona del Sol punts the ball, and a wild kick. It's going to land short. And the ball should be down at around the 25. But it did bounce out of bounds at around the 15. Touched by a Basha player around the 25-yard line. And it is spotted at the 25.
So now we'll be intrigued to see which quarterback they bring in the game. It looks like Phelan has his helmet off, which would signal that he's still going to be on the sideline. So it looks like they're going to send Friend back out there after that last touchdown pass.
Yeah, and usually if a quarterback, he does have his helmet. I was going to say if he does not have his helmet, he might have been ruled a head injury of some sort. But regardless, Friend has the ball. He drops back to pass, and it is incomplete. Regardless of if it was an incomplete pass or not, Williams made a spectacular catch there on the sideline.
Yeah, he got driven out of bounds. The pass was a little underthrown, and Williams did a good job to come back to that ball, give his quarterback a chance for him to, just give himself a chance to make a play on that one and help out his quarterback. But like I said, just got driven too far to the outside and out of bounds, and that's what ultimately led to the incompletion.
Friend in the backfield with one running back to his right, and he does hand it off right up the middle, and he's all the way out to the 35-yard line near the first down marker. And it'll be interesting to see if they call it a first down, and it looks like they're signaling for them to move the chains.
And Lundberg, every time he's got the ball tonight, just huge chunks. Exactly. The offensive line doing a good job up front, creating holes for him, and he, like I said, every time he gets the ball, it just seems to be a big chunky yardage.
Friend now in the backfield, 2 receivers to his right and left, hands the ball again right up the middle to Luscombe, and there will be a flag on the play. However, Luscombe did get an 8-yard gain on the play.
And that time it was actually Harper on the carry.
Oh, it was Harper.
Harper who got the handoff, so he gets a nice chunk, but it looks like it might be coming back for a possible holding call. So Basha is going to get pushed back, it looks like, and that will reset that last play. 14-0 Bears, 5:42 left in the first half. Basha's offense has looked good in this one so far.
Yeah, Friend led that really good drive for a touchdown. Threw a touchdown to his teammate last drive. See if he can do it again this drive as Friend throws a screen pass to his running back. And he goes right up the middle again. He's at the 30, the 35, the 40, all the way out to the 50-yard line. And he gets finally brought down right around the 47-yard line.
And a really good play call. And then once the running back got the ball, he knew what to do with it. Made a couple plays, made a couple jukes, got up in the open field. Lundberg that time, they're going to let the defense come to him. The linemen are going to let him get to the quarterback. It's designed screen pass, and then you just hit the check down running back. That's Lundberg. And he got it, turned in the open field, made a couple moves, and now they're all the way in to Corona del Sol territory. But a nice play call there by the Basha offense.
Yeah, looks like we're going to see two receivers left, one to his right, one flanker to his right, running back to his left, hands the ball back up the middle to Harper. Harper gets about an 8-yard carry.
Just more chunks on the ground, and if you're the Basha offense right now, and if you're Chris McDonald, you're looking at this going, we don't really need to pass the ball right now. We're just wearing down the defense between Harper and Lundberg. They just continue to move the ball, and the offensive line continues to do their job. And it's really been an impressive turn from the passing game to the running game, just on both facets of the ball.
Friend with two receivers left, one right. Defensive lineman jumps off sides, and it will be another 5 yards and a first down for Basha.
And another penalty plaguing the Aztecs. That time you're just going to continue to move the ball forward, and that's maybe something you see with the defense that's a little tired or beaten down. You know, just those mental mistakes, the penalties. Obviously, they happen earlier in the game, but you seem like you're out on the field a lot. You continue to maybe have your hands on your hips, and you stop thinking a little just for a second, and then you draw yourself off sides like that, and the Basha offense just continues to roll.
As Friend has two receivers to his left, one to his right, running back Harper to his left, and we're going to get another whistle here.
And a sloppy last couple of plays. That time a false start on the Bears, so push them back 5 yards now, so both teams draw even.
Yeah. Very well put.
Back to where they came from.
So it's going to be a 1st and 15 with 4:10 and counting here left in the first half. Friend is going to have two receivers left, one to his right, flanker to his left. He's going to be in the pistol formation with Harper behind him. Hands the ball off to Harper. Harper up the middle, right about to the 32-yard line.
Harper, just another nice run. That time just following the blockers and just continues to move his feet and push up the middle. He's going to check out of the game now, but his last couple of runs have been well-deserved, and he's earned a couple good chunks of yardage. He's going to get a couple high fives over there on his own sideline.
And deservingly so. Harper has been the main key aspect on this drive. Friend has three receivers left, one right, running back to his left, and he completes the pass over the middle to who other than Sifferman, the man doing all the work today. Just might as well put the hands on the ball, the workhorse tonight.
I guess that guy just doesn't get tired. You know, he's had so many receptions already in this one. He's kicking field goals, just continues to put up yards all over the field, and that time just finds a little soft spot, and it gains a couple more yards and moves the chains for Basha. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout by the Corona del Sol, and that's not a bad timeout with the defense. That's might be looking a little tired out there.
Yeah, Sifferman, he's spinning around down there, and they're having a tough time stopping him. 3:13 left here in the second quarter, 14-0 in favor of Basha.
And if you're on that Corona del Sol sideline right now, I imagine maybe getting a little bit of a talking to, or just trying to rally the troops, trying to get something going to where defensively they can dial a few things up, make a couple plays. If you're Corona del Sol right now, obviously 3:13, already down 2 scores. If you're on that sideline, one thing you might be looking to is try to change the momentum in any way, maybe punch the ball out, trying to draw a turnover. But they need something to turn back in their favor, because right now it's just Basha, and it's one side of the field, and they just continue to steamroll over the defense.
Yeah, that change may have to come schematically, maybe going from man-to-man defense to zone defense, or a mix of both, maybe sending in a few more blitzers. And whatever Basha's doing now, it's working for him, but Corona del Sol has to adjust accordingly.
And if you're just joining us, Gabe Friend, who's actually started this game as a backup quarterback for the Bears, came in for Connor Phelan, and he's done a very good job ever since he's taken over. Has a touchdown pass already in this one, and now he's in the red zone for Basha.
Yeah, Friend throws his first touchdown pass of the season in this game, and he just threw his second one. Another touchdown for Basha here as they open up this lead to 20.
Mateo Estrada with the touchdown catch, and Friend just making it look easy out there right now. Estrada beats his man, gets to the inside, and his quarterback just delivers it right on the money. That was a beautiful timing route. Everything was right in stride. Just like that, it's a 20-0 Bears, and they're rolling.
Sifferman getting ready to attempt the extra point. The wide receiver slash punt returner slash kick returner slash kicker puts the ball up and through the uprights. It is now 21-0 in favor of Basha with 3:08 left here in the second quarter.
And I've just continued to be very impressed by this Basha offense. They continue to roll. They continue to look good, and play calling's working, just everything in rhythm right now. And you look up the scoreboard already, 21-0 in the first half. You see 3:02 or 3:08, pardon me, on the game clock here in this first half. You're Corona. You just want to answer in some way, get that goose egg off the scoreboard. Just do anything you can to possibly just put up a couple points before you go to the locker room. Just draw any sort of momentum.
Right. And even a field goal can go a long way in terms of getting some morale going for this Corona del Sol Aztec team. Tell you what, we've been talking a lot about Sifferman lately, but he hasn't scored. There's been 3 touchdowns, and he has not scored yet tonight.
And that last drive, I think you bring up a good point, Austin. Sifferman, you know, that first drive, he's just all over the place. That last drive, you really saw a lot of other guys get initiated. Obviously, Estrada getting involved. Saw a couple different running backs who really just drove or tilted the field on that last Basha drive. But it was impressive getting everybody involved in this game so far.
As Sifferman has an end over end kick, and by golly, it's another touchback. What can't this kid do? I mean, it really is incredible to see a jack of all trades execute as well as he is doing every single play.
And you could see it. I mean, really, when you talk about a jack of all trades like that, and if you're Chris McDonald, that's just a player that any coach dreams of, to have a guy who can play, be versatile, play on both sides of the ball, be a wide receiver, running back, do whatever is asked of him. And like I said, that's just a coach's dream, and that's why you see Sifferman out there. It seems like every other snap, or every snap, really.
Absolutely, and oh man, I never get tired of seeing this, but another flag.
Looks like this time it's going to be on Basha.
Encroachment. It looks like it's what the head referee signaled for, and it will be an encroachment call. 5-yard penalty. It's going to be a 1st and 5 from the 25-yard line. Still 3:08 left in the ball, left in this first half. Helt has an empty set. 2 receivers to his left, 3 to his right. 1 receiver slanting over the middle, and it is dropped, almost caught, actually, by a receiver crossing over the middle right behind him.
Yeah, crossing route, and that one was thrown so hard that it went through the hands of the intended receiver, and the other receiver was crossing with him on the other end. It almost went over the top to him. So a little bit of a weird play there by Corona del Sol, but now it's going to be 2nd and 10.
And Helt draws back to pass, and he does find his receiver for a 1st down on the far sideline. 1st down and 10 for the Aztecs.
Twenty 21-0 Bears in this one. They've looked good so far.
Starting to look a little bit like the UCF game last night. Ended 56-10 in favor of the defending national champs, and some might say. Anyway, Helt completes a pass for another 1st down. It's going to be about a 14-yard gain to the far sideline. Helt doing a pretty good job on this drive.
Yeah, that was a nice rollout there by Helt. Finds his man back over the middle of the field, comes back to the ball, makes a nice reception, and it's like that. This Corona del Sol offense is starting to move.
as Helt and has the ball batted down. It's going to be a second down and 10, 2:40 left here in the first half.
Yeah, and that time it was Chandler Kelly, the defensive lineman for the Bears, getting his hand up, swatting that one down, and that's one of those things as a defensive lineman. If you can't get to the quarterback, watch his eyes, see if he maybe telegraphs something, and that time does his job, gets his hand up, and just disrupts the whole play and creates a 2nd and 10.
And again, an empty set here for Helt. Looks left to right, can't find anybody. He will scramble. He's out to the 50, the 45, the 40, the 35, and he slides down at the 34-yard line. Now they're going to move the ball back to the 36. Say his knee was down at the 36-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Aztecs.
Helt with a nice run there, and for right now the clock will stop just for a moment. They'll start it now, but a nice play there. That time Basha rushed 2 blitzers from the outside that left the middle of the field open. Helt realized that, just tucked it and ran and picked up a big chunk.
Looked like your receiver was offside, didn't call it, and Helt threw the ball over to the right side on a corner route. Gain of about 9.
And it was Sifferman on the tackle. I feel like I've heard that name a few times tonight, just a few.
Sifferman, the all-star of this game.
On the Bash sideline, Connor Phelan starting to throw the ball around again. Not sure if that would indicate that he's going to come back into this game or he's just getting loose.
Helt on the loose. He can scoot, and he does get the scoot for a 1st down. Gain of about 4.
Helt putting together a good drive right now. They're inching closer and closer to the red zone. And he continues to string a couple plays together. And as we said, just doing anything to get that goose egg off the scoreboard, I feel like really gives some momentum to Corona del Sol going into the locker room, and possibly just shift any momentum back to that sideline.
And it looks like Ricky Purcell is warming up on the sideline, essentially the 3rd string quarterback. Him and Tim Muscombe are tossing the ball around. Maybe we're going to see a little action from the 3rd stringer here in the first half.
It'd be interesting to see. We've already seen one quarterback change, and for Basha, obviously Gabe Friend coming into the game. He's done a heck of a job. Really hasn't looked like a backup quarterback whatsoever. Just came out onto the field, poised, collected, brought his team down the field, already has 2 touchdown passes, and just has that Basha offense rolling. But I'm interested to see if Corona del Sol does something similar. And with the way that Helt has played, I wouldn't think so, but you know,
Never know.
especially this last drive, he's done a really good job moving the ball downfield, really keeping this drive going for the Aztecs.
Looks like there was a false start, and there will be a flag thrown on the play for a false start. It's going to move him back about 5 yards. 1st and 15, 1:46 left here in the second half, or in the second quarter.
That time as Ricky Pearsall, they ran a wildcat formation and had a false start, and that has to be a little frustrating after they continued to move the ball downfield. And once again, said it sounds like a broken record, but penalties just hindering this Corona del Sol team so far in this first half.
Absolutely. 3 receivers to Helt's left, 2 to his right. Empty set backfield. Helt gets the snap, drops back to pass, can't find anybody. He will scramble. Actually, he will throw it over to the left side, and the receiver is still on the loose. He is out of bounds now at the 23-yard line. A little extra pushing there at the end, and there is a flag thrown.
Not sure what the flag would be for on this play. Looked all clean to me, and maybe a face mask if they caught him there at the end, but I didn't see one from our vantage point.
Right.
See what they call here.
Maybe a late hit. We will find out here soon. A block in the back on the offense. That's actually going to move the ball back. It's going to be a spot foul.
And once again, another frustrating penalty for this Corona del Sol offense. Time they get a nice chunk back after they committed a false start, and then a push in the back just pushes them back even more. And it's like they're just playing against themselves right now, just trying to deal with that, and it just has to be a little bit frustrating.
Eric Bryce comes back into the game for the Basha Bears.
Now push them all the way back to the 38-yard line, or 39-yard line.
39-yard line, 1st and 15. Corona del Sol, empty backfield once again. 3 receivers right, 2 to the left. Helt drops back to pass, can't find anybody, and now he does find somebody over to his right, and he will be wrestled down eventually for about a 7-yard gain.
Time is Pearsall over the middle of the field. That's going to run the clock down to 1:12. Looks like the Aztecs are going to call a timeout, stop the clock. A little bit of no man's range right now. A little too far outside of field goal territory, I'd say. It'd be a very deep field goal if they did try it, but 2nd and 25 now. I imagine just trying to get a big chunk of that yardage back has to be a key for them. And pardon me, 2nd and 16, that is, not 25.
Whatever it is, it's long.
It's long, and it's because of those penalties. As I said, the penalties just continue to play a factor into their game and continues to hurt them.
Don't mean to repeat it, but that's just what's happening in this game. Penalty after penalty after penalty.
And so we've talked a little bit on this broadcast, about Chris McDonald doing a good job so far. His team already off to a 2-0 start on the Basha sideline. New head coach went 6-4 with Maricopa last year. And he takes over this program after, in place of Rich Welbrock, who was the coach of last year's team, who had a 3-8 record. But you look at their first 2 weeks, 54-0 win at North Phoenix. Week 2, 17-13 against O'Connor. Right now they're putting themselves in another good position.
Very well said, Andrew, and a lot of good facts in that story to describe what's been going on with these two teams. As we get ready for play here once again, Helt drops back to pass, gets the snap. It's going to be a running back wide receiver screen, and he is off to the races, and he is finally down after a long gain of about 20 yards down inside the red zone.
And there's that big chunk that I was just talking about that they were able to get back. Now it becomes a little bit more manageable, and they're closer to the first down marker, and it makes it a 3rd and manageable instead of just a 3rd and long. It looks like Corona del Sol is going to call one last timeout here with 54 seconds remaining, playing against 2 teams now between the clock and Basha.
Yeah, we're under a minute left here in the second quarter. Still 21-0 in favor of Basha, but Corona del Sol is driving. Helt, every time the Aztecs seem to get in a bind, Helt seems to find some way to find a receiver to get him out of trouble.
And so as we have this timeout, some other notable games tonight going on in Friday Night Lights. We don't have the scores of these games, but some other games going on around the valley tonight. Mountain View and Mountain Point taking on one another. Hamilton versus Arbor View, and South Mountain versus Paradise Valley. Just a few other notable games around the area. But right now we have Basha and Corona del Sol with the Bears leading 21-0.
As we get ready for play here once again, Helt, empty set backfield, 3 receivers right, 2 to his left, and he slides down with the clock still running. The clock will stop now.
And that's big because that stops the clock. He gets the first down. If he doesn't get that, then the clock becomes more of a factor with no timeouts left in the half for the Aztecs. So that's a big play.
Hurry up offense here for the Aztecs. 3 receivers left, 2 to his right. Empty set backfield. Helt gets the snap. He's dealing with a lot of blitzers. Can't find anybody. Over to his left. He can find a receiver, and he will be in for the touchdown. First score for the Aztecs here comes late with 32.9 seconds left here in the second quarter.
And a nice play there by Helt. The Basha faithful, the student section down to our left, they don't like that call. They thought the intended receiver was out of bounds. Nonetheless, that's a touchdown for the Aztecs and a huge strike just before this first half ends. That's a big drive from Helt and company to just get that goose egg off the scoreboard and make it a 2-possession game, possibly going into the half.
A little bit of a momentum shift here, heading down into the wee moments of the second quarter, as the extra point is up, and it is good. 21-7 with 32.9 seconds left here in the closing seconds here in the first half.
So, we've talked about senior quarterbacks in this game. Phelan having a good drive. He checked out of the game. Friend came in as a junior quarterback. So, really just upperclassmen quarterbacks who performed well. But that last drive, Helt really showing his veteran leadership, leading his team down the field, making a couple big plays. He was pressured a couple times, stepped up, really just tucked his head, and like I said, made plays for his team. And that was a big drive, and it makes it a 2-possession game, as I said. And with 32 seconds left, I'm going to be interested to see what the special teams unit is like now for Corona del Sol, whether they kick it deep with the chance for Basha to return the ball, or if they elect to go with a little bit of a shorter kick. We'll see what they do or dial up here with just a little bit left here in this first half.
As Camden Mateen is back deep for the Basha Bears. Aztecs getting ready to kick the ball off to the Bears. And the kick is up and away. End over end kick over to Mateen. He will take it with his heels on the goal line. He is out to the 20, the 25, the 30. And he gets out to the 33-yard line with 28 seconds left to go here in the first half.
And Mateen was oh so close. If he breaks one more tackle, he might have some room to run, but nonetheless, a nice kickoff return. He's all the way out to the 35, and now it's decision time. If you're the Basha offense, do you elect a little bit of time left on the clock, possibly put up some more points, or do you go in content leading by 2 possessions going into the locker room? That's what they're probably discussing on the sideline right now, what Chris McDonald's going over, and is that a little bit of a decision. It's a good decision to have. They're still up on the scoreboard, but then if you do decide to go for it, you possibly make the risk of a turnover or anything like that, but we'll see what they decide to do here, and it looks like Phelan's going to check back into the game in favor of Friend to end this half. So a little bit of a quarterback mix-up between the two in this first half, but they've both performed well.
And some coaches or some other teams say if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterback, but honestly, I think that if you have 2 quarterbacks that are willing to produce and are producing for you, then why not go for it?
And so the first play, there's a flag on the play, is delay game. That'll push them back 5 yards, and that might make the decision a little bit easier now with that penalty. See if they still decide to go for it. Ball placed at the 30-yard line.
Phelan, empty set backfield, 2 receivers to his left, motions 1 receiver to his right. Now he has 3 receivers left, 2 to his right. Phelan drops back to pass, can't find anybody, does throw the ball over the middle, and it is complete. About an 8-yard gain.
And he did not get the first down on it, it would appear, so the clock continues to run. There's going to be a timeout for Basha, but precious seconds ticking off the clock. Chris McDonald doesn't look too happy on that one. So the Basha offense and company calling a timeout after that last play. They didn't get the first down, which means the clock didn't stop here with 14 seconds remaining in this first half.
As the Basha offense gets ready to come back onto the field. They're going to go with an empty set backfield, 3 receivers right, to the left. As Phelan motions 1 receiver to his left, gets the snap, drops back to pass, launches one, and he will be sacked, and that should end this first quarter of play, first half of play.
Talk about an ideal time to get a first sack of the half for the Corona del Sol Aztecs. They create a little bit of momentum going into the end of this first half, and we have a ball game, just a 2-possession game at the end of this first half. But at the end of 2 quarters, it's Basha 21 at Corona del Sol 7. So with that, we're going to go to the half. We're going to have a halftime performance from the band here at Basha High School. But for Austin Burnett and myself, stick with us here for the second half. We have a good one. It's Basha 21 at Corona del Sol 7 here on the Sports 360 AZ live stream. Everything's worked out too? No
technical difficulties as in we got one camera running, so we can use the camera all the time. We don't have time to, basically we had 4 out.
There's always something. I feel like that's every broadcast. Because I go to the context for this too, and like they have a production class too. So when it's similar to this where they have like the Pac-12 live stream, so we'll do it for like soccer and all that stuff. Whenever it's on Pac-12 network, I feel like every time, because I've done a couple production things with them, every time I've done it, it's always like something that's just right before game time, just always goes a little.
I had a bad feeling about today because I was like, I was at a doctor's appointment where I was didn't have time to run. So I was like, yeah, that's it. You can just, sit down.
Thank you though for all the help. I mean, you guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you guys for
I
having
meant to
us.
call Brad last week, honestly, and I forgot. No, I'm not going to put this on. Ready to go into
Yeah, if you ever need a call for any of that, I know he has his whole crew of people who are always ready, but if you ever need a call, let him know. I'm not sure. This is fun to do and you'll be fine. I don't know what I'm doing with all that. Try to help us a bit.
That's the biggest component I would say I would agree with. Big fun. Favorite part of the game. I'm like, thanks, Mom. Appreciate it.
You know Jeff, right? Jeff Griffith?
Jeff Griffith, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, over the summer, past couple summers, he's done a job. Cause you're from Indiana, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming with your Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He has, over the summer, he was like in Indiana during the drum course.
Yeah, DCI.
Yeah, but he loves it. He's coming out about it.
DCI is pretty good.
That's special.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Like, I remember growing up, I used to go to Stanford games. I'm over from Bay Area.
Okay.
So my grandparents like used to get Stanford football, and like other the Stanford band actually crazy. But like when they had other bands like UCLA, USC,
Right.
like come down, that was cool.
Yeah. Well, Stanford's a great school too.
My grandparents hate Notre Dame, but I also have
Understandably so.
no, but it's funny because they hate Notre Dame, but on the same token, my grandma's brother, they live in Hawaii now, but their family's originally from Indiana, so I have like a ton of cousins, and all of them go to Notre Dame.
Really?
Yeah, so
No
like
way.
diehard Irish fans. Yeah, like they live in Hawaii and they'll wake up at like 6 a.m. or whatever they
Yeah.
on game day to watch that Notre Dame game.
It's like 3 a.m. their time or something like that. I mean, like 3 a.m. because game day's there. That starts at 9.
Yeah, they wake up super early to do that. They're like diehard Americans.
I was born in South Bend, so I was pretty much it's in my blood. So. Blue and gold is in my blood. I'm gonna add some maroon to it.
my grandparents, because they visited my cousin and hung out at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
This is like the whole time.
Like the whole city of South Bend shuts down.
Because like growing up, I mean, I was that's not like a great college football. Like ASU's not even that great, but it's like it's still kept up there.
No, like as soon as the whole city shuts down because the Irish pubs in South
Yeah,
Bend.
the pubs are
Oh my God! Like, I swear to God, like whenever Notre Dame wins a game, it's like they won the Super Bowl. Like it's like a parade because there's people in the street, like just walking around, like the streets. Oh, touchdown Jesus! Notre Dame is it's so unbelievably like incredible. I don't know how else to describe it because like you just have to go there to experience.
It's on my bucket list of like sports stuff.
Yeah, like you have there's no words to describe it. You just have to go see it.
Like on my bucket list of like sports that I'd love to see like Carolina basketball.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to see college football. I want to see like even though I'm not a fan, but I don't want to take in like Ohio State, Michigan, and be off of the Iron Bowl.
I want to see the Iron Bowl.
I'd love to see the Iron Bowl. Even though I don't know, care about it.
Right. No, it'd be super sick. Yeah, it'd be super
Just
dope.
to take in that environment. It's interesting. Like I have no clue. Like I said, growing up like in that area, Stanford, their games was cool stuff. They had a couple of games, especially when my blood was there.
Yeah.
Like that was really cool. Like they had college game day there, and I got to go, and like it was super fun to get college game day. But like just game wise, like I can't say like how it must be like Notre Dame and all school.
Notre Dame. Like I'm not trying to be like over the edge or anything, but it's one of the best college venues that you'll ever go to. Because there's a pep rally every Friday, no matter home or away. There's a pep rally every Friday in the Golden Dome. Then they walk, the band leads the march over to Purcell Pavilion where the basketball team plays. Then they have the official pep rally there. And then that's where they have all the players come in and the coach does his thing. And the new Holtz will come in out of nowhere sometimes and ramble on about his fucking high time and get girls and get out of here. essentially.
He's still on college like the ESPN show.
Yeah. He's senile.
I haven't watched like his last one in like college game day.
Yeah.
Just because it was like super late and stuff. Like, I
Right.
also like watching the game all the time. So cool. Can't wait till it comes to ASB.
Oh my god, that'd be so cool.
I thought it might
Like,
like USC last year after they beat Washington.
Right.
But I was like go south. But that
Right.
weekend was Penn State.
It was like, I think it was Penn State, Ohio State.
This
Penn State, Michigan maybe? No, it may have been like Penn State, Ohio State. Either way, it would have been cool. Cool for ASU Michigan State up there for potential game day site.
that's if there's like no other.
Right, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's if there's literally nothing else. Which I highly doubt there will be.
Like when they put on like when they used to go to like Harvard Yale or something.
Yeah, Harvard Yale,
It's
they
like,
go to Harvard,
when it was
Navy.
the last couple weeks of
Yeah.
season, there's like nothing going on.
Yeah, or Army Navy, like the very last week of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What time are you heading over to the stadium tomorrow? So what time are we like loud? Alright. I mean, you didn't say anything bad, but that's it.
Yeah, I know.
Like that, or like the nice color call it.
Basha High School as the Basha Bears are taking on the Corona del Sol Aztecs. We have a few minutes here before kickoff of the second half, but Andrew, Pretty lopsided game. 21-7 here in favor of Basha. What'd you like in that first half?
In regards to both teams, I think Basha, just the offense is what stood out the most to me. Obviously, the defense came up with a couple of timely plays and really contained the Corona del Sol offense, but I think that was in large part due to a lot of penalties by the Aztecs, that of their own doing. But for Basha, I mean, the offense was rolling. The passing game really worked well, and they started off hot. Connor Phelan mixing the ball around, getting the ball out to Ty Sifferman a lot. He hit a lot of different receivers, but after that, Gabe Friend comes into the game. They had two quarterbacks who really proved that they could spread the ball around, and as the half wore on, it wasn't necessarily the passing game, but it was the running game that started to come into play, and it really just broke down really the will and the test of the Corona del Sol defense. I'd say Cole Lumberg had a big first half, and as well as Mika Harper, who came in and really had a good did a good job on the ground game in regards to both of them working back and forth together towards the latter stages of that first half. As for Corona del Sol, things really didn't go their way in the first half. They shot themselves in the foot a lot with penalties, struggled a little bit, but I think the biggest part for them, really the biggest play or the biggest kind of drive of that first half was the last one. It really got them, I don't want to say back in this ball game, but it was a 21-0 deficit. They really had no momentum on their sideline. They put up a touchdown before the half, and things didn't necessarily go their way, and I wouldn't say it was the worst first half, but they didn't play too well, and only be down 2 possessions and still give yourself a chance to win going into this third quarter. That's pretty big for them.
Yeah, they're not completely out, but it's going to take some work for them to get back into this game. But that'll wrap it up for my play-by-play duties for this evening. I'm going to take over for color. I'm going to toss things over to Andrew Bell for the play-by-play duties of this second half.
Thank you, Austin. Appreciate it. And yeah, second half is what we have for a 21-7 ball game as the clock winds down, and we'll get ready to reset for the beginning of this third quarter. And it's going to be an interesting one. And as I said, I feel like the first couple drives of this second half are really going to be pivotal for both sides.
Now, who do you think they're going to put at quarterback? Do you think they're going to put Connor Phelan or Gabe Friend, the junior, at quarterback?
I think, personally, I think I would go with Phelan. I'd say to start the second half. He's a senior quarterback. He played well. He has his helmet on right now. That'd be another indication to me. So does Friend, but I think Phelan will get the upper hand to start this second half. But it's going to be interesting. Like I said, that decision to put Friend in over Phelan early in that first half really intrigued me. Not sure what went into it, and from a coaching standpoint, it didn't really matter too much because both guys played so well. But it's going to be an interesting decision. I would expect Phelan, though, in the third quarter.
Yeah, Sifferman, the jack of all trades, the man of the hour. See what he can do here in the second half, and there's really nothing this kid can't do.
Yep, so Sifferman will get ready to kick off for Basha. As I said, 21-7 here in the beginning of the second half. We're almost ready to get the second half of football going. Sifferman gonna signal to his special teams unit and get back and ready to kick. Couple of men back deep to return for the Aztecs. Sifferman gets a signal, and he's gonna boot this one off and into the Arizona night sky. This one is gonna land short of the goal line. It's gonna be brought back and out, all the way out near the 25-yard line. Looks like there's a mad scramble of bodies there, but looks around the 25-yard line is where Corona del Sol will set up. So Ryan Helt will step back onto the field after his last touchdown drive at the end of the first half.
Hopefully this second half will be a lot cleaner than the first half. A lot of penalties for both teams in that first half of play.
So penalties on both sides, something Corona del Sol especially will look to limit in the second half. Helt looks like he's going to get under center as 2 receivers out to his left, 1 running back in the backfield. It's going to be a toss and a reverse, and it's going to be wrapped up in the backfield and sniffed out by the Basha defense. That was a nice play. Looking for a little bit of trickery was the Corona del Sol offense. Basha had none of it, and that's going to push the Aztec offense way back into their own territory.
Yeah, I don't know if the audience back home could hear this, but we have the coordinators of the Basha football team right next to us, and you could tell by their yelling that it was a very good turnout for the Bears.
So that last play makes it 2nd and 21 now for the Corona del Sol offense. Helt in the shotgun set as 3 receivers out to his right. He drops back, looks to his right, steps up in the pocket. He's got to go, and he pushes forward, maybe back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing doing there for the senior quarterback.
We've seen a lot of quarterback scrambles here in this game, and I don't think it's because the offensive lineman can't block. I just think that's very good coverage by the defensive backs in this game.
So Helt back in the shotgun set. It's going to be 3rd and long for the Corona del Sol offense. Helt's going to roll out to his right. He has a man off to the sideline. It's going to be dropped, and that's going to make it 4th down. So a 3 and out to start this second half for Corona del Sol, and that's got to be a little frustrating.
Basha's going to get the ball back, and Mr. Jack of all trades, Sifferman's back to return this punt.
So ball in Corona del Sol territory. As Austin said, Sifferman back deep to return. He stands around midfield near the Basha logo. 15 down on the play clock. Here's the snap. It's going to be a low line drive punt. It looks like there's going to be a penalty. And I'm trying to catch the call on that one. Did you catch the call on that one, Austin?
I believe that it was an illegal shift.
An illegal shift. That will push the ball all the way in to Corona del Sol territory inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I think it was a loss of down penalty. So not only did they lose the down, but Basha gets the ball inside the 10-yard line.
So that's a big turn of events and a break for the Bears, who now get the ball in the red zone in very good territory, to say the least. Sifferman's back in the quarterback position. He's in the wildcat formation. He's going to take the direct snap. He gets a snap, now rushes off to the right, breaks into near the goal line. He gets hit by the goal line, but he's not in. It looks like he's going to be down just around the 1 or 2 yard line, and there's going to be a trainer coming out now. It looks like they're attending to Sifferman.
Yeah, I don't know if the audience back home could hear the ooh, but that was Sifferman landing on his head. He is rolling around in pain right now, hitting the ground vigorously. Not a good sign you want to see. They do have a gator going out there to tend to him, maybe with a team doctor on it, as the players huddle around, some taking a knee right now. Doesn't look good for Sifferman. Hopefully everything's okay.
It was a big collision on the play. And we sure hope Sifferman's all right. He's down and in pain right now and getting a lot of attention from the training staff. And as we said, we sure hope he's all right.
He is moving his extremities, so it does seem that there is no severe damage, although he is being helped off the field.
Looks like it's a lower body injury, too, as he is not putting any weight on that right leg of his. Being helped off. He's going to get a nice applause from this Basha crowd as he heads off field. That's a big loss for the Bears.
Yeah, he's definitely favoring that right ankle there. Maybe a high ankle sprain. It'll be interesting to see how Basha adjusts to losing one of their best players.
Not a good sign, not putting any weight on that right leg. And as we said, we sure hope he's all right, as Phelan now back in the game, and we're back to action. He's in the shotgun set. He's going to motion a man who breaks to the outside, pushes around, breaks around a tackler, but he's dragged down at around the 3-yard line.
Almost looked like a horse collar tackle there, but nothing doing on that run on the reverse.
So Ty Sifferman, who just came out of this ball game due to injuries, down the trainer's table right now being attended to. Back on the field, though, it's Phelan who has his offense in the red zone. It's 3rd and 4 from the 4-yard line. Phelan in the shotgun set as one back to his right. He's going to hand it off to his running back, and that's going to be a touchdown for Cole Lundberg as he breaks into the end zone, and just like that, it's 27-7 Basha.
Yeah, that's Cole Lundberg's second touchdown of the game. He had the very first touchdown of this game, and he gets another one on the ground from about 7 yards out. Put the Bears up 27-7 here with 9:38 left in the third quarter.
So Cole Lumberg comes through with a 4-yard touchdown run. Basha makes a defensive stop, forces a turnover or gets a break and gets the ball in the red zone, and then they punch it in for a touchdown, and their offense just continues to roll. And Cole Lumberg caps off the drive with a 4-yard rush. Now here's the field goal kick, and it's up and through the uprights. Zifferman not in the field to kick that one as he just got injured. And nevertheless, the new kicker who's in the ball game boots that one through the uprights to make it a 3-possession game for Basha.
Absolutely. Now they're going to have a new kicker in place of Zifferman. Zifferman, obviously a key aspect in every asset of tonight's football game, whether that be offense, playing cornerback on defense, kicking the ball on special teams. The kid does it all, and Basha's going to have to adjust to see how they can replace Zifferman for the time being.
And minus the touchdown score from the Bears, you can see the cause for concern on the Basha sideline right now. A lot of his teammates coming over to him, making sure he's all right. That's one of their brothers who just went down, and coming over, making sure that he's all right. As I said, a senior leader for this Basha team, and like I said earlier, we sure hope he's all right down there on the sideline. So a new kicker in the game for the Bears. We'll see how this one goes. Looks like the new kicker is going to be number 30. That's Carter Hill. Here's the kick. It's a short kick. It's going to get just about out to the 35-yard line. The kick is muffed. Now there's a push forward from the Corona del Sol special teams unit, but they just push forward for about a yard or so, and they'll set up shop around the 24-yard line.
Now it was waved for as a fair catch, but he muffed the kick, which means it is a live ball, and he did have to end up returning that kick. Would have been spotted at the 35, but now they are back to the 25.
So that muffed kick messes up the positioning of the offense a little bit, but not too much, just 5 or 10 yards back, pardon me, and that's where quarterback of Ryan Helt will set up in the shotgun. He's going to drop back, look to his right. He throws out to the right side. He's got a man, but he's wrapped up immediately in a nice play by the Basha secondary to swarm to the ball, and that's a gain of about 5 or 6 for this Corona del Sol offense.
And Andrew, I tell you what, I just can't wait. It's, football season's back. College football starts tomorrow. The feeling of football just being back is just one of the greatest feelings in the world.
It definitely is. As Helt drops back to pass, he has a blitz coming. He's going to drop it off to his check down, but it's out of the hands of his intended receiver and falls to the ground. That will make it a 3rd and a 4 for this Corona del Sol offense. You mentioned that, Austin. It's really, you're going to get the trifecta coming up soon, especially once NFL play starts. Obviously, we've had Friday Night Lights the last couple weeks that have been great. A lot of good games around the Valley and that we love seeing. But then you got in college football tomorrow, and then you have the NFL coming up. It's trifecta between those 3 days. A lot of weekend time booked up, especially on some people's couches.
I do have to ask real quick, are you doing any fantasy football drafts coming up soon?
I'm not doing a fantasy football draft. That's just not my cup of tea. I know it's big for a lot of people, but just not my cup of tea. Back to the action, though. Helt rolls to his right. He has nowhere to go and just spikes it into the ground. Looks a little frustrated on that one. A nice blitz dialed up by the Basha defense, and that's going to make it a 4th and 4. So Basha forces another 3 and out against this Corona del Sol offense. That's got to be frustrating, and just like that, back deep to receive this punt will be number 6, Mika Harper. Harper stands at about the 40-yard line. Now moves back a little bit more. 8:54 remaining in this third quarter. 28-7, Basha leads Corona del Sol. Here's the punt. It's up and into the air. Harper's just going to let it drop in front of him. It's going to take a friendly bounce out near midfield. A friendly bounce in favor of the Bears, and they're going to set up shop with some more good field position.
Yeah, Harper was back to receive that last punt. He actually had that touchdown reception from Gabe Friend, the junior quarterback, earlier in this game. So Harper taking the place of Zifferman with the returning duties.
I mentioned Gabe Friend as well. He's on the sideline right now, but Connor Phelan started this game, then sat out for a little bit. He's now back in the ball game for this Basha team. He's going to step back out on the sideline now. Ball placed at the 44-yard line of the Bears. Thielen in the shotgun set, has a running back in the backfield as well as 2 wide receivers out to his right, 1 to his left. He's going to hand it off up the middle. That's to Lundberg. Lundberg's going to bounce it out to the outside. He's into the open field and has a first down. He's into Corona del Sol territory. Lundberg continues to impress as this game wears on. Mentioned earlier in this ball game, Basha really was intent on the passing game, but as this game has worn on, Lundberg has made himself a presence. So Thielen gets the play call from the sideline. He's going to relay it to his offensive line. Clock will start up in just a second, and it looks like we're going to have a timeout of sorts. The refs are going to blow the whistle. No flag on the play.
So what happened there is they didn't reset the play clock, took a little official timeout to reset that. Now the play clock is back and going, and we're back to it.
A ball placed on the left hash. Thielen in the shotgun set. He's going to hand it off to Lundberg again. He's going to push forward, get a nice chunky yardage before he's taken down after just about 5 yards of rushing.
Yeah, Corona del Sol is playing cover 0 right now, which means they have no safety help over the top. They are playing man-to-man underneath. Now you may see 2 safeties there, but they are playing man, which means they have no safety help over the top.
And the way that this Basha team has been able to spread out the ball passing, it's not like they're an offense that can't go over the top or throw a deep ball. Might become a little bit of a risk as this one's handed up back off up the middle. Another rush, and it's going to be another push forward for a gain of about 2 or 3 yards.
Camden Mateen, the wide receiver, comes back into the game in place of Andy Robinson.
So that clock continues to tick for Basha. Not necessarily in the prevent mode yet, but definitely taking a little bit more time out there on the field as this creates a 3rd and short for the Bears. So 3rd and 4, Thielen in the shotgun set, has 2 wide receivers out to his right, and another flag, and it looks like the Aztecs once again have jumped into the neutral zone, and that's going to be an automatic first down.
I mean, they're going to see this a lot in film, and coach is going to harp on it. They may have to do a little bit of extra running in practice for it, but I don't know what's going on. But there's just been penalties left and right this whole game.
A lot of gifts for this Basha offense tonight, and when they have gotten the opportunity, they have done what the good teams do, and they've made those penalties hurt, as exemplified by the scoreboard. 28-7 right now in front of the Bears, or the Bears are in front, pardon me, as Thielen gets his play call audibles. Now he's back in the shotgun set. He's going to drop back, look to his right. He has a man, but he overshoots him. It's going to create a 2nd and 10.
He didn't follow through with his throwing motion right there, and he just airmailed that last pass, resulting in an incompletion.
So Thielen will look to get back to the drawing board after that last incompletion. When he has been in the game tonight, he's been pretty solid for this Basha team. So he's going to get back in the shotgun. Has 2 receivers out to his right, 1 to his left, as well as a halfback in the backfield. Single set formation. He's going to roll to his right. He's got time to throw. He looks downfield. He has a man. He has his intended receiver. Looks like that's going to be Camden Mateen who has it on the sideline. And that's going to be near the first down marker.
Yeah, Camden Mateen, more like a tertiary receiver in this game. He's got a few receptions, not the first option, but he is one of those guys that as Thielen goes through his progression that he'll find going from right to left.
So that last reception creates another 3rd and short. They're going to try to draw him off sides. The Corona del Sol defense jumps, but they don't pass the neutral zone, or they don't jump off sides this time. Thielen tried to catch him off guard one more time. Now he gets the snap. He's going to hand it off up the middle, and Lundberg, we haven't seen it too often tonight, but he's stuffed and wrapped up in the backfield by the Corona del Sol defense, and that's going to create a 4th down situation now for the Bears, and I imagine they're probably going to go for it in this situation.
Yeah. I mean, it's a 4th and 4, 4th and short. It's pretty much in no man's land. You're right around the 30-yard line. There's no use of punting it. And if you don't get it, then that makes them go 70 yards the length of the field anyway. So, all in all, it's pretty much well worth going for it here.
So 3 receivers out to Thielen's left, 1 to his right. Gets another play call from the sideline. Might be changing something up at the line, and he is indeed. It looks like it's going to be maybe a little bit of a short punt right here, and they're going to call a timeout. A little bit of confusion on the Basha sideline, and Thielen just calls a timeout, says let's talk it over.
Yeah, the play clock was also running down. It was at 1 second when he called that timeout. So maybe talk it over, get a new play call in there, and see what happens.
So they initially look like they're going to go for it on the 4th and about 5. Instead, instead he dropped back. They audibled and looked like they were just going to punt it away, possibly play the field position game, which isn't a bad tactic when you're up 28-7 in third quarter. They've had that clock wind down for the most part. But talking about it in the timeout, you think they're still going to elect to go with that punt here in this situation? Me personally, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, if it was me, I mean, I'm not one that usually punts in the game of Madden either, so I translate that to real life, and I never punt. I always go for it, so I totally agree with the coaching decision here.
Oh, looks like might try to set this one up now. As I said, it's 4th and about 5 from the 29-yard line of Corona del Sol. Phelan in the shotgun set, ball placed on the right hash mark. Ref initials for the play clock to start. And now Phelan's going to wait for the snap. He has it. He drops back. Blitz coming. He's going to get rid of it. He has man-to-man coverage on the outside. The pass is up for grabs, and it's incomplete. A man-on-man, one-on-one coverage on the outside. Phelan put it up, and it was deflected as the two receivers as the receiver and the cornerback jostled for it in the end zone.
Yeah, as we've seen pretty much all day, no safety help over the top, and he tried to take advantage of that, heading to the corner of the end zone, lofted the ball up there, but his receiver couldn't bring it down, and a turnover on downs. Not too much damage done. They're still on the 29-yard line, so they're going to make him go 71 yards the length of the field the other way.
Camden Mateen was the intended receiver on that play. Phelan's having a word with him on the sideline over there. Quarterback and receiver just going over what they saw, what happened on that last play, and getting back to the Corona del Sol offense now. Helt will drop back the pass. He has a man over the receiver, and it's dropped over the middle. That would have been a first down, but it was dropped on the play, and that's going to create a 2nd and 10.
I just want to give a shout out to the Basha band. They have been incredible all night, providing a great atmosphere. Band's often overlooked during a football game. Got to give them some appreciation tonight.
So Helt in the shotgun set, ball placed on the left hash. There's an empty backfield. He's going to drop back the pass. He steps up in the pocket. He's going to hit his check down, and it looks like it might be incomplete. Ref signals that he caught it, but from our vantage point, we had a pretty good view at it too. Looked like he might have been juggling it. Now a flag on the play right in front of the Basha sideline. The receiver was Ricky Pearsall, who caught it. I say that in a little bit of
quote
right
unquote.
now. Yeah, it appeared, like I said, from our vantage point, it appeared that he was juggling it as he stepped towards the sideline. Ref called it a catch, though there is no review, obviously, at this stage in high school football. So looks like this call will stand.
Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct on Basha, the linebacker. Gave the referee a little lip at the end. And I'm sure the coach did too. Because again, from our point of view, it did look like he was bobbling it. But regardless, it's a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, and it's another first down for Corona del Sol.
So Helt will get back into the shotgun set. Still has an empty backfield. There's pressure coming. He's going to step up, look over the middle of the field. He has a man, and it's off the hands of the intended receiver. That pass a little up. The receiver just wasn't able to come down with it.
And one interesting thing that I've found out tonight is Helt has a very unconventional throwing motion. He kind of brings it from the side like Tim Tebow used to do. It's like he brings the ball down and over to the side like Tebow used to do. So it's very unconventional, but whatever gets the job done.
And he has got the job done at times tonight. I'd say really just the biggest factor has been the penalties and just a couple drops that have really hindered this Corona del Sol team. With that, Helt will get back to action. He motions a man to his right. He has that man, it's Pearsall out on the right side. He gets a swing pass out the right. He breaks a couple tackles, gets a couple blocks. There's a flag on the play, keeps his feet moving, and he's down near the first down marker.
Should be a horse collar tackle.
Looks like it will be a horse collar face mask. At least that's what it looked like from here. He's gang tackled on the right sideline. To Pearsall's credit, he kept his feet moving, gained a couple extra yards. So still waiting for the call. Refs are discussing it right now. Gonna pick the flag up. Looks like it is indeed gonna be a face mask, I believe is what they called.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be either a face mask or a horse collar, something to do with the upper part of the body.
5:32 left in this third quarter. Basha leads this one 28-7 over Corona del Sol. Helt gonna get back in the shotgun set as he has been the last couple of plays. No receivers in the backfield, has 3 wideouts out to his left, 2 to his right. So an empty set, he drops back to pass. Pressure coming, he gets it out quickly and he just overshoots his intended receiver.
He's not following through on his passes. He's air-mailed a lot of passes tonight. He just hasn't been following through on his throws.
Has to be a little bit frustrating for Helt in this air raid offense. You're not going to see too much running from this Corona del Sol team, really. A lot of passes, a lot of plays in the passing game. That last one, Helt just overshot. So 2nd and 10, we'll do it over again. Ball placed on the Basha 25-yard line.
Yeah, Basha in their nickel defense with 5 defensive backs on the field.
Aztecs driving. Pressure coming. Helt's got to roll out. He gets rid of it quickly. Drops a pass down in the breadbasket of his receiver, who makes the catch. Going to be about a 4 or 5 yard gain. He's going to make set up a 3rd and manageable for the Aztecs.
Yeah, Basha was playing cover 2 there, which means 2 safeties are dropping back in their zones over the top, while the corners play man-to-man underneath.
So Helt gets back in the shotgun. Ball placed on the right hash mark. At the 20-yard line, Helt drops back, looks over the middle field, has time, throws, and it's caught by Pearsall. Pearsall bounces one to the outside before he's wrapped up. That's a Corona del Sol 1st down. So Helt keeps the sticks moving on 3rd down and continues to give his team a chance. He's going to go get the play call at his sideline. Clock not moving right now, or not starting right now. It will now, however, though, as the ref signals for the clock to start moving after that 1st down. Corona del Sol into Basha territory. They're in the red zone all the way down at the 8-yard line. Helt's going to get in the I formation. Basha's going to bunch up. Helt fakes the handoff, now throws back to the corner of the end zone and just completely overshoots his intended receiver. That one was sniffed out anyways. That's going to create a second and goal from the 8-yard line.
Yeah, I'd say if Basha makes a stop right here, then this will pretty much do it. It's only in the 3rd quarter, but 28-7, late in the 3rd quarter. If Corona del Sol doesn't make something happen right here, the chances of coming back are very slim.
Still time left in this ball game, but as you said, the Aztecs are going to have to move quickly. Now a snap. Helt wasn't expecting it. He's got to go now. He rolls out to his left. He has black jerseys all over. Toss it back to the end zone. He had a man, and he just overshoots him, and that had to be frustrating. That play was really botched from the get-go. That time, Helt wasn't expecting the snap. Got it, hit him right in the chest. He bobbled it, picked it up. Before he knew it, he had 4 black jerseys around him, had to get rid of it. And regardless of all that, still had a man in the back of the end zone and just wasn't able to hit him.
Yeah, Helt the senior quarterback tonight, but not looking like it.
So Helt in the shotgun set, looking to keep this game moving. There's going to be a timeout, Aztecs. Head coach John Bechtold didn't like what he saw from his offense on that last play, and they're going to talk it over. And when you're down 3 scores like this, then you never know what could happen when you're trying to run a game back like the Aztecs are. That's one thing you always want to do, is keep your timeouts, especially when you're down. You never know when you can use them. If Corona del Sol does manage or could manage to run this game back, those are things you want to keep in your pocket, but they have to use one there. So still 28-7 in this game. As Austin mentioned, still time in this game, but they're going to need to act quickly.
Timeout here, but I'd say Corona del Sol, they need to plan, obviously, to score, not only just to score on this drive, but they're trying to game plan for not only to finish this drive, but for the rest of the game, too, because if they don't make something happen on this drive earlier, like I said, they're going to be in some trouble.
So 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. Band continues to play down to our left. doing a good job this evening as the offense gets back out on the field for the Aztecs. Held's going to get under center on this 3rd and 8 situation. He has a running back behind him in the backfield. He's going to swing to his left. Now another reverse. Pearsall has it. He is going to throw some trickery, and it's incomplete as he just threw that one short.
Actually, they're gonna call that complete.
Pardon me, a completion. I thought that one hit the ground from our vantage point.
I thought it did too.
But that is indeed a completion. That's going to make it 4th and 2. I imagine down 3 scores going to be going for this one. Well, under 4 minutes now left in this 3rd quarter as the clock continues to wind down. A big play if Corona del Sol wants any chance of getting back into this game. 4th down, crowd starts to come to life. Ball placed at the 2-yard line. Helt's going to get under center. He has a power formation in the eye. Basha creeps up for their goal line defense, and another timeout for the Aztecs. Pardon me, this time not the Aztecs. Basha is going to call timeout, talk things over, talk about what they saw and maybe what they want to do here in this 4th and short situation. A big play coming up for the Aztecs.
Yeah, they might change their play. They might not, but they also might try and bluff here to see if Basha changes their lineup as well, while also calling the same play.
A timeout for Basha. That was their 2nd timeout of the half, so they just have 1 left. Corona del Sol has 2. As I said, a big play coming up here for the Aztecs if they want any chance of coming back in this one and possibly holding a big comeback in the 4th quarter. Ball placed on the 2-yard line. Be 4th and goal. Basha sideline signaling to their student section to get loud.
Sifferman still getting his ankle tended to down by the medical staff.
Oh, Helt under center. He's going to hand it off. It's going to be bounced to the outside. Looks like it's a touchdown of Corona del Sol. That time is Jack Pearsall who gets the handoff in the I formation. Had nowhere to go in the backfield, but he takes care of things himself, bounces the outside, and then finds the end zone. That's a huge score for Corona del Sol. It's now 28-13.
Yeah, he made someone out of nothing. He was about at the 5-yard line when he was starting to get bunched up. A lot of defenders in that backfield. He bounced it out to the left side and got that much-needed touchdown that the Aztecs had to get.
And Pearsall really had nowhere to go. Basha crowded the box, got into the backfield, and he just took care of things himself. Here's the PAT. It's up, and it's through the uprights, just like that. Score game, still plenty of time left in this ball game with 3:22 left in the 3rd quarter.
And that was a little more than just up and through the uprights. That thing was booted almost to the track. That was almost a 30-yard field goal right there.
So a big kick through the uprights and a big score for the Aztecs to pull this thing a little closer.
And as you can just hear from the play,
From the
PA announcer, you're broadcasting live on Sports 360 AZ. Don't forget to check out Brad Sesmat's football show throughout the week on Fox Sports Arizona.
And while we have a moment too, I know you mentioned the band earlier, performing just below us, but a huge thank you tonight as well to the Basha High School production team who's helped us out. They've been fantastic, super easy to work with, and they've done a great job tonight too, just helping us out with everything. And like I said, they deserve a huge amount of credit for this, especially for this broadcast. They've done everything.
Yeah, and they deserve more than enough credit for this broadcast because they literally do everything for us, and we very much appreciate it.
So now here's the kick return. It's going to be Mateen who has it. He's going to bounce to the outside. He's out past the 25, evades a couple defenders, wraps up the ball as defenders tried to strip that one out, but an impressive run back from Camden Mateen. He takes that one all the way out near the 37-yard line.
And I don't know if you saw this, but number 54, I thought it was pretty blatant a block in the back. The player was turned to his back, and he blocked him, hit him pretty hard in the back, but nonetheless, it was a good return from Basha. Now out to the 39-yard line on the 1st and 10 for the Bears.
So it looks like Phelan this time, as we saw in the first half, he's going to sit out on the sideline. That means Gabe Friend is back in the game. Friend already has 2 touchdown passes, yet he was not the starting quarterback to begin this night. So little bit of a quarterback mix-up. It looks like there's no false start call, as it looked like the line moved, but there's still no call. Friend is wrapped up in the backfield, and now there's some little extracurriculars after the play. Nonetheless, a play that looked like initially was a false start or maybe some early movement gets blown up, and it's a big loss for the Bears.
Yeah, Friend not happy with that, and neither were some of his teammates.
So Friend gets a play call from the sideline. It's going to be 2nd and 24 after that sack in the backfield.
Now, I did see Phelan warming up before this drive started, but they did decide to put Friend in the lineup. False start on the running back.
Movement there. I mentioned it looked like the play before there might have been movement. That time there definitely was, and the refs caught it. It's going to push him back 5 yards more. It's going to make it 2nd and 29 for Basha. Imagine if you're the Bears, look up at that clock. It's a 2-score game, 2:21 remaining. Maybe at the very least here, try to milk some clock, run that thing down a little sooner, as Corona del Sol does continue to play against really two teams now between Basha and the clock in the rest of this third quarter.
And almost themselves. Now to give you an update on Sifferman, he does have an ankle brace on that right ankle, it looks like. And it doesn't seem like he's coming back into this game anytime soon.
Sitting down on the Basha sideline right now, he's on the trainer's table. If you're just joining us, Ty Sifferman, who is one of the leaders for this Basha team and really just a jack of all trades, plays wide receiver, running back, even does a little kicking for them as well. He went down earlier in this third quarter on a play near the goal line.
Also took some snaps at quarterback in the Wildcat formation too.
In fact, the play where he went out of the game was out of the Wildcat formation. But now back to the action. Friend he's going to have a delayed handoff. It's a design draw. It's a big rush upfield to Lunderman. Lunderman's all the way into the open field. Lundberg all the way down to the 25, 20, 15, 10, cuts it back, 5, touchdown. Basha, huge run for Cole Lundberg. That was impressive, and just like that, it's 34-14 Bears.
Yeah, 80-yard touchdown run by the running back, showcasing his speed by Lundberg, and that will open up this game to a 34-14, 20-point lead here in the third quarter with 1:54 left.
Cole Lundberg with a huge burst, just gashing into the teeth of the Corona del Sol defense. And that has to be a little deflating if you're the Aztecs. You just make it a 2-score game. Next possession out, you push Basha all the way back to a 2nd and 29, and just like that, Lundberg takes care of the rest as the PAT is up and through the uprights since now 35-14 Basha. As I said, a huge play right there by Lundberg, breaking this game open a little bit more.
Yeah. You can hear the band playing their version of the Notre Dame fight song for Basha's high school fight song. And Basha now up by 21 points.
Lundberg with an 80-yard burst that pushes this game back up to 3 scores. And Lundberg, he's had quite a night in the backfield. Like I said, especially as this game is worn on, he's just been a go-to for this Basha offense. Especially with the absence of Sifferman on the sideline, you might look for other options. That next man mentality, Lundberg really stepped up and accepted the challenge.
Now for me, I would consider putting in the second stringers and taking some out the first stringer, because at this point, if you leave your first stringers in there, you're pretty much just padding stats and running up the score.
Still third quarter, you never know. I think it depends on what Corona del Sol does within this next possession, but we'll have to see what happens here as the kick is up. It's a low liner. There's going to be a whistle on the play.
And to second my last comment, I mean, Corona del Sol, they also have to stop these guys, so it's not as much to put in the second stringers, but you know, you're playing football here, so you either stop them or you get beaten by even more.
So
easier said than done, I might say.
So 35-14, Basha leads this one after a 80-yard touchdown run from Cole Lundberg. Lundberg's had a huge night on the ground for this Basha team.
Yeah, over 120 yards rushing for Mr. Lundberg.
Well, as Ty Sifferman out of the game, as we mentioned earlier, with an injury. He's on the sideline right now, but he is the kicker for this Basha team, which means there's a new kicker in the ball game. There has been over the last couple of kickoffs.
Seems to be a little bit of a miscommunication here on the kickoff, and there is
Another
yet
flag.
again another flag.
Some sloppy special teams play over the last couple of moments for this Basha team. It's back-to-back penalties.
The layup game. So now we're moving back from the 40-yard line where it was originally supposed to be kicked from. Now it is at the 30 after 2 penalties.
Imagine if you're Corona del Sol trying to set up good field position now. It's really a two-minute drill at the end of this third quarter for Ryan Helt. Still trying to drag his team back into this game.
Absolutely, and they need every break they can get at this point.
Is the kick, and it's a low liner. It's going to be muffed by Pearsall. It rolls all the way back near the 10. Now he's going to pick it up, try to regain some ground. Now he's going to push up field, and he gets back to about the 20-yard line. Looked like there could have been a block in the back on that play. There was no call. And now the Corona del Sol offense will set up shop.
Yeah, that was a very low line drive, and it scuffed over to the ground. It hit right around the 25-yard line and couldn't pick it up, and it landed right around the 12. And what was going to be set up for good field position for Corona del Sol has now turned to where they would have originally fielded the ball.
Well, that muff putting the Aztecs back a little bit more. Ball placed on the 20-yard line. Here's Helt. He's going to drop back to pass. Now he rolls out of the pocket. He's looking for somewhere to go. He drops a pass down to his receiver. That's going to be a gain of about 5 yards. Oh, nice play by Helt just to get out of the pocket. Find someone coming back to the ball. Clock continues to tick, though. Under 1:30 now on the play clock. Or on the game clock, pardon me. So Helt in the shotgun set, 3 receivers out to his right, or to his left as he now drops back to pass. Steps up in the pocket, he's looking for someone to go. He has Pearsall, who stumbles forward for a first down.
I'm just going to give another compliment to the Basha band. They are absolutely rocking out over here.
They are jamming out right now, having a good time, as they should be in a 3-possession game, up 35-14 in this third quarter. Helt in the shotgun set. It's an empty backfield once again. He looks to his right, looking for somewhere to go. Still has time, rolling towards the sideline. He's just going to throw it at the feet of his intended running back. Just absolutely nowhere to go. That time the Basha secondary are doing a good job to just plug up all the holes in the Corona del Sol offense.
Yeah, there's another flag on the play. I did see a hold, but we'll see if it was exactly for that.
Looks like that is indeed the call.
Yerpy.
So flags, penalties, been the story of the night really for Corona del Sol, and you have to wonder if they don't have the penalties that they have, where they might be in this game. You know, the offense has played well at times. Defense has been out on the field a lot, but if they don't have some of the penalties that have hindered them so much in this game, it might be a different ball game.
I would absolutely agree with that, but you can also say that for Basha too, because Basha's got a lot of penalties of their own, and you wonder if they didn't have all those penalties, if they would have opened this game up a little more.
So Helt, after that last pass, rolls out to his right. Pass was incomplete. Receiver caught it, but he was out of bounds on the play. That's going to create 2nd and 25. But as you said, Austin, penalties on both sides. It's just that Basha's made a few less than Corona del Sol. They've just been hindered by that all night, really just shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Helt changing something up at the line of scrimmage.
Basha in their nickel look, as Corona del Sol spreads it out. Empty backfield.
Help back to pass, looks to his right. He has a man, but he's going to be wrapped up immediately on a nice tackle.
And that was a perfect form tackle. He had his head off to the side, kept his head up, did not use the crown of his helmet, which there has been plenty of issues with in the NFL recently. Very good form tackle for a minimal gain as the clock winds down here in the third quarter with less than 12 seconds left.
See if Corona del Sol can get one more play off before this third quarter ends. Doesn't look like they're going to do so as they're walking towards their own sideline. And with that, as the clock is just about to strike 0, at the end of 3 quarters here at Basha High School, it's the Bears 35, Corona del Sol 14. So 1 quarter left to play. What were some of your third quarter takeaways from that one, Austin?
Penalties. Penalties, penalties, penalties. I mean, it's been over the course of the whole game, but that's all I can say is just penalties. Clean it up. It's been careless mistakes. I mean, the coaches and players are going to go over this on film on Monday, but there's really nothing more you can do at this point. I mean, yeah, you can try to score. Easier said than done, but if Basha scores, I'd say at least any type of points in this quarter, this game is pretty much done.
And this drive's pivotal, and the other thing is that a 3-possession game, Basha has the ability, seen the running game, Cole Lundberg, what made this score 35-14 is he has an 80-yard rush. During this third quarter, the passing game really hasn't been the story for the Bears. It's been the ground attack, and if you're not able to stop that during crunch time, especially during the fourth quarter, it makes things very difficult. And unless, some things are tightened up, I think that's a little bit of a challenge going this fourth quarter. But
now there's some things you can change skill set wise, changing cover 2 to cover 3, playing man to man, playing zone blitz, man blitz, but it's just certain things you have to learn and adjust from, and they didn't really do that. Corona del Sol did not do that coming out of halftime, and they paid for it.
Now Helt has pressure in his face. He's going to throw it out to the left side. It's in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. Helt took a shot on that one. He comes up limping a little bit. That was 3rd and 21, so now they're going to have to send out a punting unit as this game continues to wind down.
Yeah, Corona del Sol trying to muster any yards, any action they can get in the positive direction. It's just not happening for them today.
So 4th and 21. Mika Harper is back deep to return. He stands just in front of the 40-yard line. Here's a kick off the side of the foot of the punter. Harper signals for a fair catch. He's going to catch the ball at the 44-yard line of Basha, and that is where the offense will set up shop and look to ice the clock a little bit here with this one winding down.
It would be interesting to see if Connor Phelan or Gabe Friend or maybe the 3rd-string quarterback comes out onto the field for this drive.
Friend in the huddle right now. He's going to be the one who goes out. Phelan doesn't have his helmet on right now. He's talking things over with the offense. First team still in for the Bears. Lundberg comes back out. Imagine he's going to get a lot of touches here in this fourth quarter. Friend in the shotgun set. He has Lundberg to his right. Ball placed on the left hash. Offense taking their time. Here's the snap. Here's the handoff to Lundberg. He pushes forward. That's a gain of maybe 1. Looks like got it back. It looks like he got back to the line of scrimmage. So no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 from the Basha 45-yard line.
Mika Harper comes back into the game for Lundberg.
We've seen Lundberg too. He's done it really just bouncing the outside in this game. Had a couple of big gashes, but we saw Harper in that first half. He had a couple runs through the tackles that really impressed me and stood out to me. We'll see if they do that for him now. Now here's the fake handoff to Harper. There's a throw over the middle, and it's incomplete to Mateen, and that's going to stop the clock.
Yeah, Lundberg, he's a very shifty back. He's 5'7", 160 pounds, but he's played a lot bigger than what he looks like tonight.
And that'll be 3rd and 9 from the Basha 45-yard line. Friend going to take his time on the sideline, get the play call. I'm going to relay that message to his offense. Play clock under 15 as it continues to wind down. Friend in the shotgun has 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. He's going to drop back. He has pressure in his face, rolls out to his right, buys some time, and finds his intended receiver. That's going to be a first down for the Bears. That's number 3, Marco Estrada with the catch. He already has a touchdown catch in this game. Add 1 more reception to the stat column.
Basha moving the ball with ease as they have all night. Still going for it. Trying to execute as much as they can with Gabe Friend at the helm.
Now here's a handoff, a little bit of a bobble by Harper, but he still picks it up, now pushes forward. It's getting about 4 on the play, and that clock continues to wind down.
At this point in the game, they're really just trying to refine their offense and get a good solid flow to end this game, and trying to get all these different second stringers some reps.
And you don't want to put anything into the stat book yet, because a lot of crazy things can happen.
Absolutely.
We've seen crazier things happen before
Yes,
in high
we
school
have.
football. As get to the next point in just a moment, as Friend's back in the shotgun, gets a snap. He's going to hand it off to his halfback. Look like it's Lundberg back there, who's back to about the line of scrimmage. But getting back to my point, if Basha goes on to win this ball game, hold on to win this one. Last year they were 3-8. This year, if they pick up this one, they'll be 3-0, meaning they'll match their win total from last season. So if you're Chris McDonald and company, looking to get off to a good start with this Basha program, and he's right on track to doing so right now, already tying his win total from last year.
Yeah, Chris McDonald making a very big impact this season, really turning this program around almost 180 degrees from where it was last season.
At least from the start. Now Friend back to pass. He has a receiver out to his right, and it's dropped by Mateen. One of those where had all the time in the world to catch it and kind of turned his head upfield and just didn't look it in all the way, and it's going to create a 3rd and 7. I'm sure one Mateen will say he should have had.
Yeah, he'll look back on that during his film session on Monday and say he should have had it, but it's not like it's vastly impacting this game, but it's something that he should be able to control and something that should not happen.
He makes those catches more often than not as
Yeah,
well.
I would agree.
Sets up 4th and 7.
Punt.
Basha's just going to play the special teams game, and a beautiful punt, absolutely perfect by Connor Phelan, who punted that ball. Perfect special teams coverage, and now the Bears are going to pin Corona del Sol all the way in the 5-yard line, down to their own 2.
And something that has been very popular amongst the past few years is quarterbacks pooch punting. That last play, Phelan motioned his 2 running backs up onto the line, took the snap. There was no one back to return it. One of his teammates beat the ball down to the goal line, and now it's placed at the 2-yard line, forcing the Aztecs to go 98 yards to get their next score.
And I mean, that punt was absolutely perfectly placed by Phelan. That couldn't have drawn it up any better than that.
It's something that Arizona State is has been doing very much so over the past couple years.
So Helt going to hand it off to his halfback, try to get it out of their own territory and in the shadows of their own end zone, and push forward. Minimal gain on the play, but mentioned Arizona State, that was a 3-yard rush, and it looks like we have an injury down on the field. Trainers are going to come out. Don't have the number of the player who's down. We can't see number from this vantage point, but we'll get it to you as soon as possible and as soon as we see it.
Yeah, you hate to see injuries no matter what during a football game. During any sport really, but football is a contact sport and it is part of the game. So,
especially I'd like to say that at this point in the game too, where the game's kind of winding down, already a three-score game. Someone's down on the field.
Players starting to cramp up a little bit, dehydration.
Just something you don't like to see, and we hope every player is healthy as the rest of this game winds down and the rest of the season. It looks like coming off the field be number 47. Or 41, pardon me. Pardon me on the number. That's going to be... Pardon me, couldn't catch the number there, but he's back to the sideline.
Roster issues. Gotta love them.
Yeah, roster issues, didn't have it on the scorecard. Glad to see that back up and onto the sideline, though, as Corona del Sol's back in the shotgun set into the shadows of their own end zone. Helt's going to roll out to his right. He has a man. He's going to drop it off to him. That's a gain of about 5 for the Aztecs. Pardon me, 8 for the Aztecs. It's going to be a first down. They're going to move the chains.
There was a nice little out route, deep out route to the sticks, is what they call it in the huddle. Out to the sticks is what the play would be called in the huddle. And it's a first down for the Aztecs.
Helt, he's going to drop back to pass. He has a man over the middle. It's going to be a reception. He's out near a first down marker, and that should move the chains. Helt putting together a couple of nice passes over these last couple of plays.
It seems like they're playing man-to-man on the corners and zone in the middle of the field. As Helt gets his offense out in the full spread formation.
Well, drops back, steps up in the pocket, looking for somewhere to go. He throws back to his receiver, and it's incomplete. Play broken up by Harper, who came back to the ball and made a nice play on that one. Going to set up 2nd and 10 for the Aztecs. So you talk about earlier, just a couple moments ago as well, Austin, ASU as well, and their offense, college football Saturday tomorrow, but an ASU quarterback who won't be playing the season out for the year indefinitely, but familiar to these parts, played at this high school. Ryan Kelly out of Basha High School.
Yes.
Out of this high school, out of Basha, as Helt rolls out, has nowhere to go, a little bit of a botch play that was ran wrong, and he just throws it to the ground, and a little bit upset with not with the play call, but just with how the play panned out. That's going to create 3rd and 10.
Ryan Kelly, who was in the quarterback battle for the number 2 string on the depth chart, right behind senior Manny Wilkins. But with his injury, Ryan Kelly is now out for the season, and that leaves Dylan Sterling Cole and Kurt Walding, the walk-on.
Now here's Helt. Rolls out, he's going to throw back to his left. He has a man, he's going to look for a block. He's going to get near the first down marker, but he's not going to get there. He's just short. Create up a 4th and about 1. Imagine if Basha wants any chance of coming back in this one. Likely going for it.
And if you're Basha, if you're one of the defensive coordinators for Basha, you want to tell your team to not allow any points the rest of the game. This is part of the game where you refine your defense and set a goal for some of these guys who don't get as many reps to step up to the plate and make a stop.
So 4th and 2. Here's the handoff off to the right side. It's going to be a first down for the Aztecs. That will move the chains, and Helt will keep the drive alive. Under 8 minutes now, 7:22 remaining on the game clock.
Going to do a little bit of inside reporting here. Sifferman is now up and walking around on the sideline. Good to see him up off the trainer's table, putting some pressure on that right ankle.
Here's Helt. He's going to drop back, throw over the middle of the field, and it's going to be another first down for Corona del Sol. On the catch, that was number 6, Eric Bryce. He's got a first down.
Basha now starting to sub in their 2nd and 3rd stringers even more so to get some of those younger players some varsity reps. Get them to see what Friday Night Lights are all about.
Game clock under 7 minutes now as Helt is in the shotgun set, as he has been most of the night, an empty backfield. Going to drop back, pressure coming, but it's picked up. Drops back, throws to the left side. He's got a man, and he pushes forward for another first down. So Helt, a couple straight first downs, and his offense is moving.
And that ball somehow managed to get through 2 players' hands and completed for another first down.
As you mentioned, a little bit of a dangerous pass, a couple players in the secondary around the area, but Helt threads the needle and makes that completion. Whistle on the play. Refs are having a discussion right now. Not too sure what it's about. There is a flag on the far left sideline all the way over by the 30-yard line. Looks like there's going to be a personal foul. It's going to be on the offense. So that will set back the Aztecs even more.
as we head into tomorrow, ASU football and college football is finally coming back around. Andrew, what's going to be one of your favorite parts of the college football season finally coming back around?
You know, I think for college football, it's just the atmosphere. I think we've got a great atmosphere tonight here at Basha as well. Student section is something you love to see in Friday Night Lights. They've had a huge turnout tonight, a huge crowd. That's been really fun, but that's one of the things I like seeing in college football as well, just the atmosphere, the excitement around, you know, just the opening Saturday. It's just a blast as Helt goes down. There's a sack on the play. It's going to be number 57. Or pardon me, 53, Sean Smeltzer comes up with a sack on that play, and that's going to set back the Aztecs even further. As I said, just the excitement about you know the sport of football being back. I know we're just breaking August now and into September, but just the excitement about football being back and still early on in the season here. Now here's a screen to the outside. It's going to be thrown or moved forward, but it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. We had a couple college football games tonight as Utah State took on Michigan State. Michigan State managed to escape that one. It was 38-35 the final score as the number 11 ranked Spartans escaped Utah State, and Wisconsin blew out Western Kentucky tonight at Camp Randall.
So those are just some college scores from around the area as Helt drops back the pass, steps up in the pocket, has a man over the middle of the field, and he's wrapped up. It's going to be near the first down marker. See if they rule it for a first down. But you mentioned talking about college games, mentioned some other notable high school games from around the area tonight. But looking ahead for these two teams, for Basha, they're up next. They're going to go to La Jolla Community High School. That'll be a road game for them, so we'll get away from their home field here tonight. As for Corona del Sol, they'll play Boulder Creek at home. It's Corona del Sol team 1-1 on the season now. Blitz coming, but it's an intended screen pass. It's going to hit the halfback, and that's going to be a first down for the Aztecs. So the chains will move again. That time a 4th and short situation. They allowed the blitz to come, set up the quick dump off of the running back, and that moves the sticks.
4th down conversion there for the Aztecs. 35-14 in favor of the Basha Bears, but just under 4:30 left to go in this 4th quarter.
So held back to pass, throws over the middle of the field. He has a man.
And that ball was almost dropped, but it was secured and tucked away by the tight end.
That pushes the ball inside the red zone at the 19-yard line. Helt will drop back to pass, looks to his right, be incomplete.
And there's a flag for pass interference thrown on the play. Reasonably so.
That 2 defenders on the intended receiver and just never allowed the receiver a chance to go out and try to catch the ball.
Yeah, they essentially tackled him before the ball was even thrown.
So 4:15 remaining in this one. 35-14, Basha leads this one over Corona del Sol on their way to a 3-0 start, which, as we mentioned earlier, ties their win record from last season. Some notes from tonight's game, if you're just joining us as well. Ty Sifferman, one of the standouts for this Basha Bears team, went down earlier in the ball game with an injury, has not returned. That occurred early in the 3rd quarter during a goal line situation. He's up and walking on the sideline right now. That is the good news if you're a Bears fan.
The man who we've been talking about all night is the jack of all trades. He can run it, receive it.
He's a throw from Helt to the back of the end zone, and it's incomplete. Couldn't necessarily see it from our vantage point. A throw in the back corner of the end zone is man-to-man coverage. Helt just threw it up there for his receiver, but was defended nicely, and it was incomplete, fell to the ground. So that's going to set up
there is
second and 10.
a flag on the play.
Yet another penalty marker down, something we've seen too much of tonight.
A few times.
Myself personally, I'm a little tired of seeing
Yeah, me too. I would agree with
that
that.
yellow marker down on the field.
I am right there with you, Andrew.
Not that the penalties haven't been warranted. That's no
right.
criticism to the referees. Just a little bit of sloppy mistakes at times throughout this game, and really ruined some of the ebbs and flows of this ball game. And it looks like there's another whistle.
Wow.
going to be a timeout. It's going to be a Basha timeout. That's their final of the second half.
Yeah, but back to what I was saying about Stifferman, you know, the kid can run it, he can catch, he can kick, and he's even taken a few snaps tonight in the Wildcat formation. So, I mean, there's nothing the kid really can't do. He can do it all. Jack of all trades.
Yep, a jack of all trades. That is the best word to use for his play and for how he is out on the field, really, because he does just about everything for this Bears team. So you hope moving forward, if you're head coach Chris McDonald, obviously on their way to a third win tonight, but moving forward, you hope that he continues to stay in the mix and that he's all right returning from that injury whenever that may be. Band playing down to our left, student section still in their seats for this fourth quarter.
That's what I like about, you know, the students that stay through and through, no matter what the score is. That's one thing I really do appreciate about high school and college too, is the students will stay for the entirety of the game.
His Helt, he rolls out to his right. He has a man, and that's a touchdown. Corona del Sol. Ryan Helt hits his man on the outside, punches it in the end zone. There's a whistle on the play. Looks like there's a penalty flag. I believe there's a marker down on the field.
Maybe some laundry, holding call.
Shocker.
It is against Corona del Sol.
And it's a penalty on the Aztecs. Refs are going over it right now, so that will erase the touchdown. Refs still having a discussion. Aztecs intrigued to what that call may be. Going to be a hold on the defense. So there is a touchdown. It will stand. That's a touchdown for the Aztecs. They make this 35-20 with 3:50 left in this game. And, you know, I've seen crazier things happen, Austin, but I never want to say it's too little, too late, but that just might be the case in this one right now. But like I said, I've seen crazier things happen as well.
Don't call it a comeback.
Expect the onside, I'd imagine. So now the Aztecs on for the extra point. It's up and through the uprights. That makes it a
no good. It is no good.
Pardon me. That is my mistake.
It was close. I will say it was very close. It looked very close from up here at least.
My apologies on that last call. So it was incomplete. Good call by Austin. That's why I have him here with me.
Yeah,
for that extra set of eyes. So it's 35-20, still a 3-possession game. Imagine an onside coming from Corona del Sol.
Now I will say Andrew does have an awkward angle here up in the press box. He is not quite aligned where he can see the full goalpost. So I will defend him in that honor.
Yeah, we'll use that as the excuse. So 35-20, 3:58 left in this one. Imagine an onside coming, as I said.
4 minutes?
Like I said, I've seen crazier things happen. Never know.
You really do never know.
Imagine the hands team will be out for the Bears. They are expecting an onside.
Probably put your wide receivers, running backs, anyone who has really good hands on the team on the front and second line.
Here's the kick. It's the onside, and it's going to be recovered. A nice play there, just a fall on that one. And with that, there's no further harm or anything like that. The man who caught that onside kick was Shea Aviles, a part of the hands team. He secures that one. And with that, Basha will just look to ice this game away. As Phelan checks back into the game. Fourth different substitution we've seen at quarterback tonight between Friend and Phelan. They've both had good games. I say Friend has a little bit of the upper hand. 2 touchdown passes. He's looked very good in his time, but that's nothing to take away from Phelan. He produced very well in his first drive of the game as well, and at points throughout the rest of this game. Imagine here's a couple of handoffs to the running backs. This one's handed off of the middle. Is going to be no gain on the play.
Well, extracurriculars there at the end, but that's just the frustrations of being behind 15 points at this point in the game.
So Phelan gets his call from the sideline. He's going to take his time. Play clock under 10. He gets the snap, and he's going to hand it off up the middle. It's going to be a gain of about 2 on the play.
And one thing that you're seeing tonight with Basha is even though they're running the ball, they're running it out of the shotgun. They're not running it in the pro-style offense, you know, your typical I formation that you see Stanford run. But they're handing it off from the shotgun, which is what has translated over the past couple years as being the norm in high school and even in college football as well. Some schools even take the knee in the victory formation from the shotgun, which I think is a little much, but
that's the extreme extent of.
It's all up to the coaches. We're the one telling the story. They're the one making the decision.
You know, I could understand maybe, you know, you have a botched snap, something like that, but still, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. It's worked out tonight for the Bears, obviously. Lundberg has that 80-yard gash out of the shotgun formation, and the running backs between Lundberg and Harper have really had nice games on the ground, just between the two of them, taking those snaps out of the shotgun. Nothing too shabby for them as Lundberg steps back out on the field. He can likely expect another handoff in this 3rd and 5 situation. 3:11 on the game clock.
Although I would not be surprised if there was a pass, but we will find out here in the next few seconds.
There's the handoff to Lundberg and a nice tackle in the backfield. The Corona del Sol defensive line got into the backfield that time and wrapped up Lundberg, and that'll create 4th down. So still time. No timeouts left now for Corona del Sol as they stop the clock. But a good job on there and on that last play, or pardon me, on this last possession. To start this drive, the clock was at 3:50. It's only 3:05 right now, so the Aztecs do an efficient job of keeping this game manageable. It still would be a very tall task, but as you can imagine is in a 2-possession game like this, you got to go for the touchdown, get it, maybe a 2-point conversion, maybe even put up the PAT. You already missed a PAT in this game, but try to go for that, and then you have to recover the onside at that point because
if you're gonna go for it, you might as well go all out. I mean,
it'd be a prayer, but we've seen, like I said, we've seen crazier things. So a special teams unit out for the Bears. Here's the punt. It's up and in the air. It's going to be caught, no fair catch, and wrapped up immediately with a nice tackle by Mateo Estrada. He's been on both sides of the ball tonight. First on offense, and I see him on special teams making a nice play, and that time makes a nice tackle in the backfield, and there's absolutely no gain on that special teams play. So clock under 3 minutes now, 2:58 remaining in this ball game. See if the Aztecs have anything left in them with no timeouts. They're going to have to move in a hurry if they want any chance of possibly coming back in this game. Well, held in the shotgun set, empty backfield as he has been most of the game. Ball placed on the right hash mark. Drops back to pass, looks to his right, steps up in the pocket, has nowhere to go, and he's going to be sacked. That's big because the clock will continue to wind down. There's nothing Corona del Sol can do about it.
Yeah, Basha just playing all their corners and safeties more than so off the line of scrimmage. They're playing them 5 to 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, off the receivers to make sure there's nothing deep that goes over their heads.
So help in the shotgun formation. Clock continues to dwindle down. He's gonna roll to his left. He has a man, throws it low. Did he catch it? We're gonna say
yes, he did.
He did. Nonetheless, the receiver didn't get out of bounds. It was a low throw. Still gonna set up a 3rd and long. So an incomplete pass. That situation, as you're playing the clock as well, might almost be better in that situation to let the ball drop.
Absolutely.
So help with the ball placed on the left hash. Under 2 minutes remaining now. It's 3rd and 8 for the Aztecs. Drops back, throws over the middle field. Has a man, but it's incomplete off the receiver's hands. That would have been a big gain and a first down that would have moved the chains.
Right, that's something we've seen a lot tonight too, is so many dropped passes. I mean, even the passes that have been caught, they've been bobbled in one way or another. So, I mean, another dropped pass right there and another sloppy play by Corona del Sol.
This has to be frustrating if you're an Aztec. You feel like we said earlier, you don't want to speculate too much, but what would this game be like if there wasn't as many penalties and maybe drop passes as they've had? Now here's Helt's thrown. It's a bullet that's incomplete out of the hands of his attendant receiver. That's a turnover on downs, and that will just about do it. Basha can just set up in victory formation, and that's going to be the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, Corona del Sol, I mean, give them credit. They went all out. They were really trying to make something happen, but push comes to shove, they just didn't do enough.
Like I said, penalties, biggest storyline this game for the Aztecs.
And for the Bears as well. They've penalized a lot this game.
Basha had their fair share of penalties as well, just made a few less mistakes and mental mistakes than the Corona del Sol sideline, and that will be chalked up to the film room on Monday. But for now, it's looking like a 3-0 start for the Basha Bears, tying their win record from last season. They'll get in the victory formation. It's got to be a good feeling for Chris McDonald as this clock gets set to wind down. Phelan, senior quarterback, will get under center. He's going to take a knee and wait for the next one as the play clock continues to wind down.
Yeah, both quarterbacks today, Connor Phelan and Gabe Friend, had really good games, I feel. You know, Gabe Friend tossing that first touchdown, kind of starting to get things going after Longberg scored that rushing touchdown to kick things off. But overall, Basha, in all aspects of the game, they had everything, anything and everything going in their favor tonight.
Well, the big storyline, two quarterbacks playing tonight for the Bears, Connor Phelan and Gabe Friend. Friend had a good showing, had 2 touchdown passes. Mateo Estrada had a touchdown catch as well. As Phelan takes another knee, game clock under 50 now, and just be winding down the last seconds of this one. Just about going to do it for our broadcast tonight. Before the rest of the game clock winds down, for the rest of this game winds down. Any thoughts that you have just about this Basha team, Corona del Sol, moving forward, and just overall this game tonight?
I mean, from what I've seen tonight, I know Basha's going to move from 1-1 to 1-2, but for Basha, from turning into a 3-8 team to a 3-0 team, they're moving in the right direction. So, I mean, if they play, you know, chip off the few penalties, clean some stuff up, with that, it's all fixed, and that's all going to be fixed in the film room. If they fix everything up, they're going to be really good this season.
So down to 2, down to 1, down to 0. It's a final, folks. A final from Basha High School. The Basha Bears are 3-0. They win this one 35-20 against the Corona del Sol Aztecs. Moving to 3-0. Up next, they'll play at La Jolla Community High School. After that, or as for Corona del Sol, they'll play at home against Boulder Creek. They move to 1-2 on the season. But for myself, Andrew Bell, and my play-by-play partner, Austin Burnett, we'd like to thank you for joining us tonight, as well as a huge thank you to the production team here at Basha High School. They did a great job, and we're so friendly and nice with just setting everything up, and we appreciate that they had us here for the broadcast tonight. But as I said, for myself and Austin, thank you so much for joining us. One last time from Basha High School. The final score, Basha 35, Corona del Sol 20. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a pleasant good evening.